it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my Asexualized. It's a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below, right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content as we go along, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful, entertaining in any way, shape or form. Or if you just want to give this channel some like love, that's a big thumbs up button. And don't forget, like I said, if you're new to this channel, to subscribe and hit the bell icon. So if you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of Asexualised.com and the founder of Specialising Academy, which is the world's first online training centre and school for asexuals and asexuality. Welcome to tonight's episode. I've got an absolutely fantastic episode for you tonight. I know I'm a little bit later than usual, and I have to admit I was sleeping because I only had like 2 hours sleep the night before last, and not very many hours sleep last night. So I kind of needed the sleep. It was only slept for about an hour and a half before here, and then I had to have something to eat and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm here now to tell you three ways how to be more attractive without having sex. This is a very, very, very important topic because, you know, as an asexual, we lack sexual attraction, which means we don't get the urge or want for partnered sexual intercourse, right? So I don't look at a guy ever and think, I want sex with you. Just doesn't enter my head. You know, however much I love the person, however aesthetically attracted I am to them, however romantically attracted I am to them, however emotionally attracted I am to them, you know, it doesn't enter my head that I want sex with you. It just doesn't compute, you know. It enters my head that I'd love to snog you. It enters my head that I'd love to spend more time with you. You know, if it's someone I'm attracted to, guys I'm talking about, because I'm not interested in women. You know, but I don't experience that sexual attraction, you know. And if you're looking for a relationship and you're asexual, you might be thinking, how can I attract someone without actually having sex with them, right? Because there are lots and lots of other ways to be attractive to someone without it having to lead to sex. You can be attractive in and of your own right without needing to have sex, without partaking in sex, without doing the deed, if you know what I mean. So this video is all about 3 ways in which you can be more attractive to someone without having sex. So in my case, because I'm attracted to guys only, not girls, it would be how I could be more attractive to guys without having sex with them, right? So the first one is be authentic you, right? So in this world, there's a lot of people who are superficial. There's a lot of people who are kind of living an artificial life, as it were. People are snapping pics of themselves on Snapchat, on Instagram, even on Facebook. You know, you can see those bunny ears, you can see the silly faces, all that type of thing, which in effect is like a mask, right? And it's a mask on your picture because you're hiding who you truly are aesthetically. And also lots of people in life do hide behind a mask because they're afraid of being their true authentic self, because they're afraid of what someone will think of them, afraid of someone might do if they say certain things, if they look a certain way. And so a lot of people are really hiding behind this unauthentic mask. You know, they're not being true to who they are. They change like a chameleon with their environment and their surroundings, which is why sometimes if a person's in a relationship with that type of person, they're like, I never really knew them. I thought I knew them, but when we got out of this relationship, he just completely changed. And it was kind of creepy. It was weird. It's like I didn't know the guy and I'd been with him for like 3 years. You know, if you've ever heard these type of comments, it's because someone is not being their true authentic self. They are just putting on these personas that match whatever their environment is. They're not, you know, they're not consciously aware of themselves. They're not consciously choosing to live as the you they want to be. They're choosing to live as the you they think others perceive them as wanting to be. Does that make sense? So you really, really have to be your true, authentic you and bring more of your authentic you to a potential relationship and dating scenario. Because in a world where it's swipe, 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 swipe culture, people are nicking photographs of the internet, which they shouldn't be doing, but it's done. People are putting up like fake, you know, Facebook profiles, and maybe, you know, people are also, you know, putting symbols on their Facebook profile, or people on Facebook are just giving snapshots of their life that doesn't really portray what they're really like, right? Some people, they might have a Facebook page full of being in the latest cars, going on amazing cruise ship holidays, you know, really living what looks like a high life, a rich life, but really they've got hardly any money, because they might go to a car dealership and take their photograph with this Lamborghini or something. Hi, Ray. Hi, just finished washing up from All Today Cooking. Oh, nice to see you, Ray. Lots of love. So yeah, so they're living this like authentic, unauthentic life, right? When they're on Facebook, they're posting all about. I'm not saying this is true for everyone, because I'm saying you need to be more of your authentic you, but I'm just telling you what someone who isn't being their authentic self looks like. Then we can get into what being more authentic looks like. Okay, so some people on Facebook, like I said, that they have it look like they're on cruise ships and, you know, got Lamborghinis, and you know, this can be achieved by going to a car dealership, for example, going to test drive a car, or even just like having your picture taken at a major car dealership. You know, for example, you could have a yacht and you're just visiting someone else's yacht, or you're visiting a boat show or something. Do you see what I mean? There's lots of ways that you can portray a certain lifestyle. Yeah, it's not really the lifestyle you're leading. Or you can portray all the good bits about your life and you don't tell any of the downs, you know, the misery and the pain. You know what I mean? So online life is very, very much kind of open to being unauthentic, right? And when you're on online dating sites, this was why it's very difficult to find someone for real, true love on a dating site, because you're only seeing a snapshot of them and their life. You're not really seeing them in context, in their home environment, in their friends and their family. Ray, anyone can use Photoshop as well. Exactly, Ray. Exactly. I mean, thanks for the thumbs up. Lots of love. There's a guy on ASAP today, right? Tonight, right? Recently. So basically, what did he just put? It's another one of those scammers, because there are a lot of scammers, obviously, as well. And where is it? So there's another guy. He's actually looks authentic. Oh, this guy, right? I mean, someone's probably got his picture off the internet, right? And clearly things don't add up, right? So what they say in their profile doesn't fit what their words are. So this person, they've obviously nicked a picture off the internet. It says they live in Nigeria, right? And then in the next breath, it's like, I'm Daniel Lopez from California. So they can't even spell. I'm looking for a babe I could spoil with my monthly allowance. If interested, chat me on WhatsApp. So he's actually on. I'm gonna put my finger over the picture, but this person is, you know what I mean, so on an asexual dating app, clearly not asexual, because he's talking about spoiling a babe. You know, it's just another one of those sugar daddy type of scams going on there. You know. But he's saying he's from Nigeria in one bit, and then in his bio, he's saying he's from California, but can't even spell it right. so you know what I mean? It's just like there's a lot of lies and rubbish going on and stuff like that. There's also people being very confused about themselves as well, you know, in life, and people don't necessarily understand themselves and everything like that. So what can you do about this? So in a world that is full of all this unauthenticity, this showmanship, this bravadery, this putting on a mask, if you like, it's very, very, very refreshing if a person comes across someone who's really being their true authentic self. This makes you very, very attractive. Very, very attractive. Ray, why I show videos of me and what I do. Yeah. As proof that you are who you say you are. Exactly. Exactly. And in a world where it's like it's a high flick through someone on the internet, right? Where people are living a really unauthentic life, um, actually being more authentic makes you stand out from the crowd. It makes you more attractive as a person when you meet someone in person. It makes you super more attractive, right? So, although the world is full of sex and stuff like this, what happens when you don't want sex, right? You're asexual and you're just bringing that vibe of I don't want sex, but I'm having a really good time in my life without sex, right? Because asexuals can have a great time without sex. If you genuine love for your life without sex, you should be expressing that. You should be bringing that forth, because a guy or girl or whatever gender you're trying to attract, they will be more attracted to someone if they're genuine themselves. Don't forget, if they're fake and they're not being authentic, and they're living an unauthentic life, then they might find that a novelty, but they might not be attracted to it long term, you see, because that's their problem. It's nothing personal against you. But, even if they are living in this fake world themselves, they will still be more attracted to you because you're living this authentic life, and they'll be in awe of you. They'll be like, wow, this person's got something about them. They've got this essence, they've got this vibrancy, this energy, and they're bringing themselves to life, and they're not going to be used to that. They're going to, like, they're going to be like, in terms of a stereotypical woman, like fake boobs and loads of makeup and all that type of thing. I know a lot of asexuals aren't necessarily like that. Do you know what I mean? But there's a lot of women who, for example, because I'm attracted to guys, there's a lot of women, for example, who've got loads of makeup on. They're pushing their boobs out, shoving them up their face, and do you know what I mean? And they're really not even. They're so worried about their appearance, they're not really enjoying their life. Do you know what I mean? So when I come along and I'm saying I don't want sex, and I'm still enjoying my life, I'm being really happy, really confident, and everything like that, that brings a nuance that they've not seen in many people before. That brings an attractiveness. It's a quality that is rare to get, and when something's rare to get, it makes it more attractive. If you like, this is why kind of auctions do so well. If you're selling auctions and one person wants it, they tend to all want it, and especially if it's a rare thing, you can't get much of it because it's like scarcity. It's like there's not much going around, so it makes it more attractive. Scarcity makes it more attractive. So if you are in a minority because you're being authentic, a lot of people aren't, that will make you much more attractive if you're really being authentic. I mean, really bringing the true vibrancy and energy of who you really are, and that means my second point is also linked to that, which is, I've been writing this down anyway, is being more confident. So this links from being your true authentic self, links on to being more confident, right? And that is the second point. One of the ways to be more attractive without having sex is to be confident in yourself, to be confident in who you are, to have a high self-esteem, a high self-regard for who you are. Does this mean it's going to attract everyone and get everyone to stay with you? No, because a lot of the people, they aren't being their true authentic selves. They aren't being real. So even if you're really, really super confident and you're being your true authentic self, some people will be repelled by that, in the sense that they won't be able to handle it because they're not being their true authentic selves. They're lying. They're faking, they're hiding themselves, they're masking over, right? But to a person who's a genuine person, which is the type of person you want to attract, who's actually looking for a serious committed relationship, that person's going to be far more attracted to you if you're your true authentic self and if you're exuding confidence, right? So if you're, for example, when I go clubbing, I am clearly one of the most confident girls in the whole of the club. Clearly. How do I know this? Because I am a girl dancing on her own, having a good time, laughing. Well, I say laughing, so I mean, I'm not particularly going ha ha ha, but I'm really smiling, I should say. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm not needing anyone else to fulfill me. I'm not needing any guy to come and dance with me. Yes, it's nice if a guy dances with me, and if I want to kiss him, I'll kiss him. But it's not necessary for me enjoying myself in that environment. It's not necessary for me to have a good time there, right? I can do that in and of myself, you know. So clearly I stand out a mile in that environment. One, I'm being my true authentic self because I'm wearing the type of clothes that I want to wear. Two is, you know, I'm on my own, clearly dancing like a mad girl that I do. I dance quite crazily. I mean, seriously, like sometimes they just clear the whole dance floor. I'm like, that's fine. I'll just dance. Everyone can watch me. Do you know what I mean? That takes a lot of guts to be able to do something like that. You know, a lot of confidence. You know, and some guys will be scared by the confidence. I'm talking about guys here because I'm obviously attracted to guys, but you know, this is, you know, if it's true if you want to attract other people. You know, some guys will be intimidated. They'll be like, what? They'll either think it's weird, my dancing, or they'll be intimidated by it, or both, and pretend it's weird when really they're just in awe of it. You know, they're like, God, I wish I could do that. You know, and so they could be jealous. Like there was an old bloke at the last one. He seemed to be very, you know, he seemed to be very narcissistic, have a real attitude on his shoulder because I was doing freestyle dancing, whereas he was trying to do all the correct steps by dragging this woman around. I mean, seriously, the guy was gross. And the girl he was dancing with, like, she looked like she was very early 20s. He looked like he was, I don't know, 60 maybe, going towards 60, but it was just his whole face and persona. I mean, obviously, I like younger guys, but it was just his whole face and persona. He's like dragging around at one point. It looked like he was going to hurt her, but she didn't seem to be hurt by it. But she was like, oh, because he was just grabbing hold of her and moving her quickly. But I think he was kind of doing that because I was there. You know, he wanted to show off, oh, well, this is how you dance properly. Do you know what I mean? That type of attitude. He was really that guy, and there was no need to be like that with me. You know, he literally bashed into me on purpose when he came back because then when there was a young song on, he put his cap on this light, put his coat down, and then went outside and then came back in when there was an older salsa song on, and then literally there was no one else there in that specific part but me, and he just bashed into me. So, you know, that guy's is full of his own ego and self-importance, you know. Obviously, I'm not interested in that type of guy, but I'm just trying to show a contrast here. But, you know, but when you are more confident and you exude confidence, that's attractive, right? There's different, you know, you can get a guy who is not that good looking, right? Who maybe hasn't got the ideal weight, maybe his haircut isn't the most trendiest, you know, and maybe his shoes stand out like a sore thumb because they're the wrong color with his clothes or something. But if he exudes confidence and he's confident when he's in his own clothes and he's charismatic as well, which is part of confidence, you know, he's got this aura about him that's just, you know, he could talk and hold a conversation with you, you know, and he doesn't care what he looks like because he's just having a great time and he's just really, you know, especially if he's into you, right? So if you're confident that you like a person, like if in my case you like a guy, you're confident you like him, you can be without him, you know, all this is very, very attractive, right? You're not having sex with the person, you're still being attractive to that person or the people that you want to attract, right? Because, you know, people are not that confident, some people, you know, and if you put this same guy who's maybe wearing the wrong color trainers to go with his clothes, who's a little bit, you know, on the podgy side, overweight, maybe his haircut, hello Sam, nice to see you, maybe his haircut was off and that type of thing, you know, and he was underconfident, right? That would stick out a mile. He would look like he looks really odd with his clothes, and yeah, he's not very attractive because he's looking hunched, maybe a little bit like this, and looking a bit like, you know, round himself like this. So that's very unattractive. Do you see what I mean? So you can have the same guy, same look, but two different versions of him. One who's being the confident, charismatic, authentic him, bold, brave, you know, exuding his confidence. Then you put the same guy and his shoulders are down, his head's down, you know, he looks awkward in what he's wearing. Do you know what I mean? That same type of person would be unattractive if he was exuding an unconfident persona, if he was exuding one that has low self-esteem and issues that he's not good enough and that no one will find them attractive. Do you see what I'm saying? So confidence is one major way, the second major way that you can be attractive without sex. The first one is, like I said, being authentic, you giving more of your authenticity, because that's lacking in the world right now, especially the online world. And when you bring it to the table, it's very, very attractive and stands out a mile. And then the second one, which is closely linked to that, is confidence. The more confidence you give off, the more you'll attract people to you, because people want to be around people that are confident, and the confident people are usually happier people, and people are attracted to people who are happy, who are happier. You know, the happier you are, the more attractive you'll be, right? Which, if you're confident in yourself, you'll be happier with yourself, right? Ray, I'm confident when shooting. That's good, Ray. It's very good. You know, but you also need to work on being confident in yourself as well, because people are attracted by happy people. You know, no one is very attractive to someone who goes around saying, I'm ugly, I don't look good, no one loves me, no one cares about me, I may as well not be here. But it's not attractive. I used to be that type of person, so I know it's not attractive. No one's you're purposely putting someone off you. You know, you're like saying to someone, don't go near this person. This person is unattractive. They've got nothing going on in their life, because they're feeling down about themselves. You know, they're not happy, that no one cares about them, they're unattractive. You're in effect saying that person's unattractive. If you're saying that stuff about yourself, you're basically giving a warning off to everyone else not to be with you, right? Which is the opposite of what you want. You want love, you want tenderness, you want compassion, you want people to come to you. So if you want people to come to you, don't block that by pushing them away. You know, be you, right? When I was depressed and not confident, I used to go around thinking no one wanted to speak to me, no one cares about me, people couldn't care less. I used to walk in a crowd and feel like completely like I was on my own, and no one gave a shit, excuse my language. That's how it felt, because when I was in that type of mindset and I wasn't confident about myself, I didn't have very good self-esteem, didn't love myself, I would kind of always think that other people are more important than me, and that no one would care about me for who I am, because no one had in the past, so why should anyone care about me? And it was a self-perpetuating cycle of a downward spiral. Do you see what I'm saying? And you know, by having this like downness about myself, this I'm not good enough, no one cares about me. You know, I'm not saying it doesn't come from a place of, you know, it came from a place of past experiences which were very damaging to me, which I wish I'd never been in, right? In childhood, right? So I'm not, you know, I can sit here saying it's not my fault because of things that happened in my life, but that's not gonna do me any good. Do you know what I mean? It's not, I can't change the past, right? If I sit there and think about the past and all these people did this, that, and the other to me, it's not going to help me. And, you know, that wouldn't help you. So you need to forget that is the past, right? And learn from that. That's the past. You can't change what people did to you or didn't do and should have done, you know? So all you can do is think, I'm living now in the present. I've got my whole life ahead of me, and you need to change yourself. Because if you're giving warning messages off for no one else to be with you, you're looking down about yourself, it's very unattractive. It's very repulsive. Do you know what I mean? It's repelling people. Do you know what I mean? It's like saying, don't come here. It's dangerous. This person's no good for you. They're ugly. They're no good in life. They're a bad person. You know, you're like saying that about yourself, so you're putting people off you, right? There are loads of people who want to make friends in the world. There are loads of good people, not just bad people. But when you're depressed, you see bad people. You see people, other people that are depressed, because like attracts likes. The more you become that person, the more you attract that type of person, which basically makes you believe you're right, because that's all you see. And they're like, oh, you know, the life is really bad. And you see people killing people and murder and all that type of thing. No, don't watch the news. Just stop watching all that stuff. Go and be around positive people. Go and be around people who are different to you. But don't go around telling them people I'm miserable, I'm horrible to be around, no one likes me, no one loves me, because that's not going to attract those type of people. Go and look at the people that are more happier in their life and think, what do they do differently? You know, how do they speak? How do they walk? How do they talk about themselves? How do they talk about life? You know, and sometimes when you're depressed, you talk about yourself more than you forget to ask other people, how are you? How's your day? So sometimes if you're feeling really down and miserable and depressed, sometimes it's better to actually go, and you're upset. Sometimes it's better to actually go and ask someone, how was your day? How are you doing? And you can often find that they've had a bad day, and then you can help them out. And by helping them out, you kind of feel a bit better about yourself because you've been able to help someone else out. Do you see what I mean? Whereas if you go around just saying you're depressed, that's not going to make someone attracted to you, you know? And what, you know, like now, when I'm out and about now, when I'm in the city, you know, I'll smile at people purposely. So I'm the opposite. I do the opposite of my underconfident thing, which I used to do. I'll be overconfident if I need to be, but I'll be really confident. I'll smile at people. I might say hello to old ladies or something who never get said hello to in this day and age. Again, this has been more of my true, authentic me. This is me wanting to talk to people. This is me wanting to be friendly. This is me wanting human connection. So you make yourself be connected to people by being more confident. You open up, you walk into a room and you go, oh, hi, how are you? Lovely to see you. Or I'm new here. You know, tell me how you came to be in this group. Tell me how you came to be here. You know, what job do you do? Like what, you know, and take an interest in other people. But, you know, when you go out, be confident. You know, be bold, you know, say hello to people in supermarkets, start a conversation with the sales assistant at the checkout, you know, saying, how's your day? I do this quite a lot. People who work in supermarkets, they're not used to being asked, how is their day going, right? And I've worked in retail for years, so I know how it is, right? Even though I haven't worked much in supermarkets, brief stint in supermarkets. I don't like working in supermarkets. But anyway, no one asks the checkout people usually how their day's going. Be different. Be you. Ask them how their day's going. It's just a complete turnaround. So when you're at when I'm at the checkout, I'm like, oh, how are you today? And they're like, oh, you know, I've been working since 10 a.m. this morning. I'm like, oh, what time do you finish? They're like, oh, well, the store closes at like 8 and then I'm working for another 2 hours, or the store closes at 10, but then we've got to clear up for another hour. And I'm like, oh, that's a really long time. You must be tired. And they're like, oh, yeah, I am. You know, it's been a hard day today. And, you know, this is how you get talking to people. You take an interest in other people, because when you're depressed or miserable or not confident, you're so self-absorbed. I used to be so self-absorbed. I used to think about me being lonely, me being unhappy all the time. I wasn't thinking about other people. But when you try and put yourself in the position of other people and you open up to people, you know, the world is full of potential friends. As one of my friends said recently, the world is full of potential friends. And when we're depressed, we tend to isolate ourselves, which is totally true. We tend to isolate. I didn't know I was doing this years ago. I didn't know I was isolating myself. I thought the opposite. I thought everyone was going away from me and no one wanted to speak to me. But that's partly of how I was, you know, made to feel as a young girl, right? But it doesn't matter. I can't change the past. That version of me has gone now, you know? Do I still remember her? Yes, sometimes I do still remember her, but I remember how I was and compared to how I am now, and I'm damn well not going to be that person anymore. I'm not going to be that person anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because that person had a lot of pain and upset in their life. So I'm going to be the opposite of that type of person. I'm going to be a confident person. I'm going to have high self-esteem. I'm going to love myself, because when I do, the world is much better. Life is much better. So be confident. You know, when you're sat at home, don't think I'm sat at home on my own. Think I'm sat at home and I'm doing something now. Like I'm going to do my favorite hobby or interest. I'm taking good care of myself. I'm looking after myself right now. You know, I'm getting myself some nice foods. I'm putting on a nice movie. I'm getting some nice popcorn, or go out for a walk. But, you know, when you come across people, say hi to someone. Hi, good afternoon, good morning. You know, beautiful day, isn't it? You know, or if it's raining, go another wet one, you know, another wet day, you know. And so instead of being in your shell, come out of your shell on purpose. It takes some practice doing this. Like when you go from being underconfident to confident, you have to practice these skills. Right? No one becomes confident overnight. It's practice of skills. So it's practice of talking to people with no excuse. You instigate the conversation. You lead it. You be a leader of your own life, and you lead talking. So you talk to other people and say, how's your day been today? How, like if you're in conversation with someone, how is your project going? How was it when you went to see your family the other day? How does it feel to like go and do whatever you were doing? Maybe you posted a picture on or maybe someone posted a picture and they went on holiday, hi, I saw you went on holiday. How was the holiday? Tell me about it. What was the scenery like? What were the people like? So you're taking an interest, you're pushing, instead of putting all the emphasis on your life, that you're not feeling worthy, you're not feeling good enough, you're not having any friends, you ask people about themselves. So don't just in your life tell people all about you all the time. Talk to people about them, ask them about themselves. That's one of the ways that makes you super attractive. It's having confidence in and of yourself, of your own life, but also in having confidence in talking to other people, getting them to open up about their life, getting them to tell you their dreams, their ambitions, their goals in life, what they like and what they don't like, how they're feeling. Once you start getting people to open up about their feelings, that's how you emotionally connect to someone, right? So if you're looking for a relationship, right, you need to be getting into the mindset that life's not just about you, it's about the other people around you as well, about getting them to open up their feelings, thoughts and emotions so that you can emotionally connect with them. You see, because that is very, very attractive. Because in this world we live in that's sometimes, got some fakeness and authenticity. I don't think the world's particularly fake as such. So like I said, there's a lot of good in the world, and you have to see all this. You have to see that some people are living their true authentic self, but a lot of people aren't. So a lot of people aren't consciously aware of themselves. They're living on autopilot. They're living on go to work, do a job, don't even question it. Do you know what I mean? That's a robotic mentality that a lot of people are in, because that's how they're brought up. People want people to shut up and put up. They don't want people to have a mind of their own, because how would that work at school? How would that work in a job? That's how you're conditioned. But you can break free of that conditioning. Do you know what I mean? You can see life for what it really is. So be confident. Go out and talk to people. But like I said, try the technique in the supermarket or any shop you go. It works really well. It works really well. Obviously, you don't want to be standing there completely holding up the queue for ages, because that's just going to pee everyone off. But I mean, you might hold it up for a minute or two while the assistant, minute or whatever, while the assistant finishes talking. Because sometimes the assistant, when I talk to a person in the supermarket, they start talking and there's a huge queue, and I have to say, oh, well, it's, I'm aware you've got other customers, so I know you've got to serve them now, but it's really nice to talk to you, and I'll see you again soon. Like the people in my supermarket, I talk to them like my friends, like not obviously my close friends, but I talk to them like they're my friends. Like, oh, how are you? Hi, how are you? Not all of them. Some are a bit more standoffish, but there's a few of them in there. I'm regular. Like, how are you? Like, oh, like what are you doing over Christmas? Have you got your Christmas shopping done yet? This is the way I talk to them, right? This is not normal, is it? How many people go into the supermarket and actually ask the sales assistants, the people on the till, how they are, how their day is, what they've got for, sort of for Christmas? People don't do this type of thing. Why not? Because people are too engrossed in their own life and they're not thinking about other people. Do you see what I mean? I start a new volunteer job after New Year, working in wellbeing place near me. This is good. This is good, Ray. This is very, very good. Hi, Dimitri. Demetrios? Is it Demetrios 007? James Bond, are you 007? Good for you. That's really good, Ray. That's really good. Like I said, I mean, volunteer is great. And in your shop and stuff like that, if you want to get out of the house, volunteer Demetrios 007. I like it. I love your username. It's very, very good. But yeah, that's really good, Ray. I'm really proud of you, because if you are unable to do a job, voluntary work is very, very good, or even in shops, because when you're in a shop, you can get a lot more. Thank you for the heart. You can get a lot more confident, because you get out and talk to people, so you can always volunteer in a charity shop and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Volunteer work is very good because it gets you out and about, But, kind of sometimes it's good to be like over the top, as in really like make sure you're asking and talking to people, but without really peeing them off. You've got to get a balance, like I've said all about talking to people in supermarkets, but I don't want you go around talking to a person in the supermarket when the person's got a queue, because that'll just pee them off and they'll get told off by their boss. And and it's not fair to the other people that are waiting in the queue. Do you know what I mean? You have to be considerate on other people about this. So I don't want like loads of people going, oh, I did what you said, and the sales assistant wasn't happy with me because you overdid it. Do you know what I mean? You need to learn to cut off as well, which is a skill. So when I'm talking, that the other day there's a girl, she could at the till, she could have carried on talking to me, but she had some customers waiting. I said, oh, well, where you got customers, I'll catch up with you again. And then that leaves another conversation, doesn't it, to be had? Because I could sit here thinking I'm on my own, which I am a lot of the time, and I could just not speak to anyone. If I don't go out of this place, apart from doing this channel, I don't speak to anyone unless I message people, or any phone or video chat. Messaging is really good. It's nice. Ray, if I'm in a supermarket, everybody comes up to me to stroke Tundra. That's good, Ray. That is good. It's good that you've got Tundra there to help you socialise, but you've also got to be confident in it of your own right as well. And again, Tundra is to do with you. You're not actually asking someone about them. Do you see what I mean? So it's although you've got Tundra, that is fantastic. But what I'd like you to see is work on your skills as well of speaking to other people and asking how they are. So it's coming from you. So the people that you're talking to is not just about Tundra, it's about interacting with you as well. Do you see what I mean? I think it's very important that you develop those skills a bit more, so that they're talking to you as a person as well, to make you feel like they care about you. Sam, I am much more confident now than I was even a year ago. I was like that, self-absorbed, and it just made me more and more miserable, focusing on the stuff I had been through. I'm glad you can relate, Sam, because that's exactly what I used to be like. And I didn't even know I was like that, And now I love my solitude, but I focus on my productivity. Yes, focus on productivity makes you more confident. It really, really does. And authentic. And it makes you have purpose and meaning. Without being productive, you don't have meaning in your life, which then leaves a hole and a gap and void. And then you try and fill it with negativity if you're that mindset. So that's good. Sam, again, I make sure that I stay in touch with people and see how they are doing. Yes, I love that about you. We have ongoing conversations. It's really, really good. Every day I talk to myself in the morning and tell myself I am good. This is good, Sam. Oh, Sam's learnt so much. That's good. That's really good. Yes, you're a very good person. But this is totally true. Productivity, it just helps you to be so much more confident. If I was sat here doing nothing but watching TV night after night, I would be so bored, fed up with my life. It would be empty, and it would drain my confidence and energy. It'd be like, is this all there is to life? Well, I may as well just jump, and if I was in a negative mind, suicidal mind that I used to be, don't think this way. Obviously, if you're suicidal, you need some help, like therapy, counselling, you need to work on a lot of stuff, and Samaritans, phone them, I don't want you to be in that state. That's a really pinnacle of depression. Do you know what I mean? It's not a good way to be. So always contact someone, don't do it alone. And if you need more therapy, go to more therapy. If your therapist isn't working, change therapist. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you still have to change your own life. No therapist or counsellor or anyone you speak to won't be able to change your life for you without you making change. And that's the major crux. So I used to go counselling for years. I've had years of counselling and cognitive behavioural therapy, cognitive analytical therapy. But I came to a conclusion that as much as I loved the help, sometimes it wasn't helpful, because sometimes they didn't know how to actually deal with the person with anxiety because they hadn't got it themselves. And sometimes the stuff they said to me wasn't very constructive or very good and healthy for me. It was actually the worst. And then I was able to see that, it doesn't matter how much I talk to them, without me taking any action and changing my life myself, it was not going to work. Because, talking's great and it's a very good thing, especially when you've got no one at home to talk to. If if you don't get on with your family or relatives, or you literally live on your own, sometimes you just need someone to talk to. And that's why it is important to have friends. You know, like sometimes if I'm here a lot on my own, I've got no one to talk to, it does drive me up the wall. You know, I just need to pick up the phone sometimes and talk to someone, because I need to speak to a human being, especially as I'm an extrovert. You know, I need to be speaking to people, not just message. I mean, messaging helps a lot because I get more messages now, so that is good. But, you know, I need to talk to a human being. A lot of the time I end up phoning my mum up because she's the one person that is at home all the time. And she, you know, we are very different in some ways, but, you know, I do get on really well with her in the sense that usually I can phone her up and just talk to her. And that's really helpful, because sometimes I just need to do that. I need to speak to another human being because I need that human contact, because otherwise my life is very much online and here on my own. And then unless I go out, I don't speak to anyone or see anyone, which is why I do go shopping. I love it when I go food shopping because I get to see people and pick nice foods usually. Right, Sam again. And like you said, asking people about their lives and their goals and plans makes things very different. I smile to people. I make conversation with taxi drivers, etc., about their day and their life. Yeah, Sam, this is really, really good. I think I should be putting all this stuff in a book by the sounds of it, because you've done a lot of the stuff that I recommend. It's really, really good. Asking people about their lives and goals. Yeah, I talk to taxi drivers as well. When I get in the taxi, every time after I go to my favourite club, I'm always saying, hi, how's your night been? I always do that. I didn't actually say that, so it's good you said that. You know, I didn't actually, you know, mention that, but yeah, it's something I do all the time. I did it again this time. Like, how was your night? When did you start work? When do you finish work? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of hours, isn't it? You know, like, you must be feeling tired. You know, like sometimes I'm like, oh, is your wife a taxi driver? If I fancy the taxi driver, like, oh, does your wife do taxi driving, or have you got a wife and kids then? I just ask them outright. You know, oh, it's so funny. And if they're foreign, I usually say, oh, have you lived in this country all your life, or have you come for a specific period of time, or, you know, have you got family over here? Like, which country are you originally from? All this type of thing. So I take an active interest in other people, which is so important, right? So one thing that makes you super attractive without having sex is taking an interest in other people, asking them how their day's been, asking them how their life's going, asking them questions about their job and their day and their life and how they feel and think. This is really important, because if all you're doing is bombarding people with stuff about your life and you're not including their life in your life, it seems like you're just talking about yourself all the time. People will switch off. They will get bored. They will walk away. They'll be like, that person is just talking about themselves all the time. And as much as they might like you, they might just be like, well, you know, they don't ask me about me. Do they really care? Or are they just like so absorbed in themselves they don't even notice me? They could just be doing that to anyone. Like, some people, they'll just message people and say all about their life consistently. And it's like, next person. It's like you actually a number to them without meaning to be. They don't realise they're doing it. They think they're sharing their life, and that's a great thing, because they're sharing life, which is good to share your life. But if you're always sharing life and you're not asking other people to share theirs or anything about themselves, it just looks like you're on a conveyor belt, like going around and around, saying about your life, not interested in other people. Yet you really want people to be interested in you. You're doing the opposite of what you really want. Sam, and when I see the homeless people, I stop and talk to them, see how they are getting on, and acknowledge them. This is really good. I mean, with homeless people, with me, it's very difficult, because I used to give food to homeless people years ago. And then I found out some of the scammers, the people that were like, they weren't really homeless. But I think it's good if you can talk to homeless people. I sometimes say hello to them. I sometimes smile at them. You know, sometimes I do. It depends. Like, some of the people that do the big issue, I used to do that with regularly. There was an older guy with his dog I always used to say like hello to. There was another guy as well I used to say hello to and smile at with a big issue. I didn't want to buy it, but I smiled at them and said hello to them. But I'm always cautious about homeless people. For me, I don't think I think it's fine for other people. I'm always cautious, because I have been scammed in the past, and a lot of them over here, they're on drugs and stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? So you do have to watch your own safety as well. Maybe because I'm female as well, I have that kind of like safety aspect about me, you know. But I mean, I know a while ago, was it a couple of months ago or about 3 months ago, I think I went and bought some biscuits or something in Poundland and I gave them to a homeless person. So I do occasionally do stuff. Oh, hi, Yufa. Um, Ray, I always ask how someone is. This is really good. This is really good, Ray. Really good. And what you need to do, Ray, as well as asking how someone is, you need to actually remember things they've told you about what's happening in their life and carry on talking about that specific thing, which will help you more. So when you ask how someone is, like if, for example, you're friends with someone on Facebook and you have seen someone on Facebook, like one of your Facebook friends, they posted a picture of where they went, you could then turn around and say, oh, I noticed you went so and so, what was it like there? So you're not just asking how someone is, but you're asking them about specific details about their life. Like when me and Sam are talking, for example, obviously I'm not going to say about personal stuff, but when me and Sam are talking, we're talking sometimes about, oh, like Sam will say to me stuff like, oh, I know you love to see Angel, who's, because I say, oh, I went to, I got to see Angel today, my game, because Sam's like, oh, I know how much they mean to you and stuff like that, which is really, really nice because Sam's paid attention to not just the fact I'm seeing Angel, but how I feel about her, which means Sam understands me better. I feel understood by Sam. Does that you enter too early? It's okay. You could, just do what you like, Sam. It's fine. Don't worry about that. So you know what I mean? Sam shows that they understand me as well. And when someone talks about, say someone says, oh yeah, I'm going to see a friend this Saturday, remember they're going to see a friend on Saturday, and when you speak to them on Monday, for example, say, hey, how did it go on Saturday with your friend? Do you see what I mean? So you're not just saying how are you, which is quite generic in some ways. You'll actually get into the more specifics about their life and caring about them, right? So for example, my friend Andy, who's not on this stream tonight, I knew that we're doing a lot of stuff this week. They told me their friends they were seeing, what they were kind of getting up to and stuff like this. So that then I'll try and remember what they're doing. And on a certain day I'll say, oh, I think you're seeing so and so today. Is that correct? Because obviously, I do get busy myself, so I might not remember everything. And I'll like be, yeah, that's correct. I'm going this time. And then I'll be like, oh, how was that person? How did you get on with them? And that type of thing. So this is how you shift it from a hi, how are you, which is quite basic. It's good, but it's basic, to in more in-depth conversations, to actually taking a deep interest in other people's lives. The more you kind of invest in other people in terms of not money, in terms of your interest in their life, the more they'll feel like they want to be a part of your life, or that you're more bonded to them, the closer they'll feel to you. Do you see what I mean? So Sam, sorry, that was loads. No, I'm really, really happy because all those things that you mentioned, Sam, are tools and techniques people should be using in their everyday life, and they actually really back up what I'm saying in this video, especially about having more confidence, and about the fact that, people aren't, be your authentic self, and people aren't attracted to people so much who are, down about themselves. I know it's horrible to say that, but I used to be a depressed person for absolute years of my life. And I've learned from that experience what it takes to get out of that experience and to have people care about you and love you and want you in their life more. And it's all about them more than you, in the sense that you've got to get out of your comfort zone. You've got to include other people in your life, but in a way in which gives them the space to have their own life to come back to you, if you know what I mean. So that you've got plenty of stuff to talk to, and that you take an interest in their life. So you're like with them, even though you're not with them. Do you see what I mean? So it's really important. And it really backed up what I was saying about the, about when you said about the taxi drivers, it backed up what I was saying about the supermarket people. People who are in these professions, they don't get asked about their job. The taxi drivers, do you really think someone gets in a taxi and goes, how was your day today? No, they're like, take me to so and so. Busy on the phone, busy texting, busy doing something else, or not speaking to the taxi driver. You know, do you know how it might feel to have for a taxi driver to actually be asked how their day is? It's like you give a toss about other people. Do you know what I mean? One taxi driver recently told me all about his two daughters, their jobs. One of them works for a film studio. Wow. And the other taxi driver got to park in the director's spot while he was on holiday. Interesting. And the taxi driver, not the other taxi driver, sorry. I'll read that again. So one taxi driver recently told me all about his two daughters, their jobs. One of them works for a film studio. And the taxi driver got to park in the director's spot while he was on holiday. Interesting. Exactly. See, Sam, if you hadn't have opened up that conversation, you would never have known that. And there's opportunities around us everywhere. You might get in a taxi with someone and they have a job vacancy. They might do two jobs and they might want someone to work in their company. You might need a job. Do you know what I mean? There's opportunities everywhere, but we don't see them unless we open up our hearts, open up our conversations, open up talking to people and being vulnerable with other people. These are all how you'll become a more attractive person. And also how you become a more confident person to become more attractive to others without sex. Do you know what I mean? This is the type of thing you need to do. 49-cent rage, Hamilton. Hello to you. Welcome. And Yuva. Hey, you to you too. I know some homeless people are not genuine, but I have gotten to know some by name. The ones near my mum's mostly. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I've been scammed by some. And I know a lot of them are on drugs as well where I live. So, if I knew which ones were actually genuine and weren't on drugs, I don't like giving people money that are on drugs. I just don't personally agree with that. I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just wasting. It's going towards something that's not very good for them. But at the end of the day, it's up to them what they spend their money on. So you could look at it as, like you give it to them, it's up to them where they spend it on food or drugs. Do you know what I mean? But I kind of I'm not keen on giving someone money who's doing drugs. I prefer to give food to the money, to be honest. Then I know they've got something to eat and they're not going to spend it on drugs, not unless they sell their food. Do you know what I'm saying? And usually they think more about eating than selling food. Sam, yeah, I know the strong bond you have with Angel. It is lovely. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, Sam messaged me. I thought it was so sweet when you said that. I do have a very strong bond. Angel's my guinea pig, by the way. She's my guinea pig daughter, and I don't see her as much as I'd like. She lives with my parents because she is diabetic, and if it wasn't for my mum, she probably wouldn't even be alive right now. So a big, huge lot of love to my mum. She's absolutely amazing. My mum's diabetic herself, so she injects her twice a day, and she lives with my parents, and my mum feeds her loads and spends loads of money on her, more than I did actually, because she's constantly buying treats. I mean, she's got 4 or 5 treats in her cage every single day. So it was, yeah, Angel means a lot to me. I'll get to see her over Christmas. Oh, I have to mention that I might not be able to live stream at the moment. I've got no way of live streaming at my parents for Christmas, because it's Christmas Eve today when you're watching this live now. So if I don't stream for the next few nights, it's because I'm away at my parents, and I'm away at New Year as well. So I downloaded an app to see if I could actually use it to stream with via YouTube, but I haven't worked out. I've downloaded the app, but I still haven't worked out how to use it yet. So as it's Christmas Eve today, I don't even know if I'm not going to be able to do a live stream at night, because I'm at my parents from 9 p.m, because we're now going on to Tuesday, which is Christmas Eve. So unless I do a stream in the day, I'm not going to get to stream. I might, if I can fit one in the day, I will, but I've got to pack my case with half my food in it, because I have to take snacks for my special diet and everything like that. So, Christmas Day and Boxing Day, I won't be able to stream, but I should be coming back here on the Friday for a few days to do more work before going to theirs for New Year. So I'll be back streaming. I should be on Friday. So I just had to let you know, because if I'm off, don't think I'll try if I can to do some quick videos recorded on my phone and then send them, but they won't be live, so at least you've got something to see. But I am going to be spending some time with my family, my parents, and Angel, that's my family, and getting some rest, having some time out. So if I don't be upset with me, because I do love you all dearly. Yuva, I just want to ask if beauty or money makes a factor of attraction as an asexual one. Oh, right. Okay. I want to ask if beauty or money makes a factor of attraction as an asexual person. Right. Okay. Good question. Right. First of all, beauty, right? If you talk about beauty, it depends what you mean. If you mean in terms of aesthetics, then asexuals that experience aesthetic attraction, beauty would be a factor for. So, for example, with me, I would be attracted to a guy who's aesthetically good looking to me. That is, I have no shame in saying that is a major factor for me in whether I could be with a guy or not in a relationship, because I love kissing and I can't kiss a guy I'm not aesthetically attracted to. I just can't do it. It's repulsive to me. It makes me feel sick, the thought of it, right? So for me, if you're talking about beauty as in terms of looks, because obviously beauty is very deep, but if we're just talking about the looks for now, then for me, yes, it's very, very, very important that I have someone I'm aesthetically attracted to. However, there have been some people who've come into my life, some guys, particularly even my ex that I was with for 8.5 years, who I wasn't aesthetically attracted to that much, but I was romantically attracted to them. But I wasn't liking their, like my ex for 8.5 years. When I first met him as a friend, I wasn't really attracted to his look. He wasn't my type of look. He had long hair and he wasn't that good looking. But it's only because I actually developed stronger romantic feelings for him, got emotionally attracted to him, that I then decided to really like his look. And, so I can change my mind somewhat on that. I can become aesthetically attracted to someone I was not attracted to very much before and didn't like look up. It depends who it is, right? I mean, I can't really be attracted to older guys usually, but if an older Indian guy came along who I got really, really close to, and I'm really attracted to Indian guys, then it might be possible that I could be attracted to an older Indian guy, which wouldn't usually happen, but it could be possible because I'm highly aesthetically attracted to the Indian look. But again, it might, for me, it would have to still look relatively young, right? Or have a certain look about him for me to be attracted to him, you know? So, in terms of beauty, as in aesthetics, yes, that does factor into whether an asexual is attracted to another asexual, if that is something they experience, aesthetic attraction. Then, but you can also have beauty as in terms of personality, right? It's not all about looks. So, if someone's got a beautiful personality, that makes them super attractive. If someone's being negative, horrible to other people, hurting other people, in general, it's not the type of person you're going to be attracted to. If someone's being kind, caring, asking other people how they are, caring about the other people, taking an interest in other people's lives, that is having a beautiful personality, right? Because you're caring about other people, you're going out of your way to talk about other people and their lives. That doesn't just mean asking them basic questions about how are you. It means genuinely getting involved in their life and making their life, in effect, a part of your own. It depends how close you want to get to the person. You're not going to be like this with everyone. But even some of the people you don't talk to that regularly, you can know they have a really big interest or hobby and ask them about it. Like, how's that going for you? And stuff like that. Obviously, if it's something you don't like personally yourself, you might not think about asking them that so much. So I don't like sport. I can't stand sport. So I'm not likely to ask a guy, how is sports going? Unless it's someone who I'm really interested in a relationship with and they're very much a big part of my life. And then I'll ask them how their football game was, because I want to take an active part in their life despite not liking it myself. But if it's just some person who's more of acquaintance that I don't know so well, that I'm not really that interested in that way, I might not be asking those type of questions. But obviously, if it was a friend who's really, like I see a bit, and even if I'm not interested in it, I'd probably ask them, how's the tournament going? Like the guy I was with this year for briefly, the British guy, he liked playing football. So I was asking him about the football, like, when does he play it? How often does he play it? Like, and about his training and stuff like that, even though I hate sport myself, because I was interested in him as a person. So beauty is to do with personality as well. Someone kind, caring and stuff like that, but they have to have boundaries as well. If someone's kind and caring and considerate, but they just let everyone walk all over them, that's not going to be so attractive. This is what I went back to about being your true authentic self, which was number one. Is if you're not being your true authentic self and you're just being a people pleaser and telling everyone what they want to hear, eventually that's going to get annoying. People are going to find you out. People are going to like, well, you said that thing to that person, that you're saying that to someone else. That's not going to be an attractive quality, right? There was a group that I joined, right, an asexual group on Facebook, which I haven't spoke to you about yet, because I thought I was going to leave this maybe for another video. But in brief, they changed the name of part of the group, and I don't agree with the name change. So I've literally said in a comment in front of people that if the name stays the way it is, I'm going to be leaving that group because I don't agree with it. Because in this group, it's supposed to be for hetero asexuals, right? Which I am. But one of the people that runs the group, they are saying stuff that I don't like, which is against certain types of people who I've got friends of, and they're saying stuff like, they've made it an anti-LGBT group. Now, I agreed with them in one post saying I think asexuality should be separate to LGBT, but that we should work together with them, because I think asexuality needs to be recognised in and of its own right, so that heterosexuals, for example, know the difference between an asexual person and, lesbian, gays and bisexuals who still experience sexual attraction like sex. Do you know what I mean? We're two different types of people. And the heterosexuals, are not going to understand if we're just clumped with LGBT all the time. So I said I agree with them on that one thing, which was a comment they were talking about. I didn't agree with everything in the comment, but they've now decided to change into anti-LGBT they put on there. I said, I don't mind you saying that you want us to be separate, but if you're putting anti-LGBT, I've got lesbian friends, I've got gay friends, and I'm not against LGBT people at all. I've got trans friends. It's just that I personally think asexuality should be known in on of its own right to raise more awareness of asexuality, so people understand it deeper than clumping us with other people, even if they are a minority that experience sexual attraction. We don't. So I said I'm going to give them chance to change the title, because I've suggested the title it should be. If they don't, because it's their group, which I don't think they will, I will be leaving, because I said I'm loyal to my friends, and I have trans friends, and I have non-binary friends, and I have gay friends and lesbian friends, and I will not stay in a group if it's like that. I will leave. So I'll see what happens, but if it's still there, I will leave that group, even though I've got friends, some of my friends are in that group. I mean, they only changed the group name, was it day before yesterday? I only noticed it yesterday. It was in like the 24-hour period, and I don't agree with that, and I don't agree with some of the stuff that they're posting. It's very anti certain types of people. I said people should be free to be who they want to be, and people should not be dictated to who they should be. So I don't agree with that. So, that's a very unattractive quality if people are going around saying stuff like that. I mean, this woman's obviously clearly being her authentic self, but it's not the type of authentic self that I like. So you have to understand, by being your authentic self, sometimes you will repel people as well as attract people, right? Because some people won't like the true authentic you. Like, I don't think that. And to me, that person hasn't got a beautiful personality. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't like what they're saying. I don't agree with what they're saying. So, but some other people in that group probably agree with her, right? Even though it's not very nice, Some other people, I mean, in that group, I don't think many people are disagreeing with them on purpose because they're like, don't want to have a go at. But, she invited me to be an admin of that group because I got an invitation. I declined it. I'm not going to be an admin of that type of group. I run 5 of my own groups that I love. And I don't speak to people like that. And I don't post stuff like that, So yeah, that if they don't change it, I'll just be leaving because I don't agree with that. So beauty is in what you say, in the way you look, in your personality, it's in your values. So beauty always plays a part, usually in attraction, but beauty is more than just aesthetics. That's what I'm trying to say. And I wanted to bring that up about the group because I think it's very important, that I won't stay in a group like that. Yes, I could stay in it because there's other asexuals, and I want to know what conversation, that even though I don't agree with some of the conversations, I kind of want to know what they're saying, because I like doing videos to kind of say the opposite if they're not saying great things. But I'm not going to stay in a group that's got that as the title, because then what does that say about me? Do you know what I mean? It's not very good. And I'm in loads of groups anyway, so I will leave. I went in there because it was heterosexuals, and I wanted people like me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't sign up to go in a group that's anti-LGBT like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I understand that people in the hetero, and they've got a point about the fact that, when you're hetero, you kind of like, want to be a bit more separate from LGBT because you're not attracted to the same gender or opposite gender or multiple genders. It's just, I mean, the opposite gender, sorry, you're attracted to. You're not attracted to the same gender or two genders or multiple genders. You're only attracted to the opposite gender. And it's more the heteros that want to be separate, you know, because obviously we're different to LGBT even more so. But, you know, I don't think anyone should be speaking to people like that and being anti stuff. It's not nice. So beauty, what I'm trying to say is attractive quality, but there's more to just the looks of the beauty. And in terms of money, is money a factor of attraction, right? So if you are talking about, if you're obviously, you know, this video is not just how can you be attractive without sex. It's not just being attractive to other asexuals. It's being attractive to heterosexuals and sexuals, right? Because if you want a relationship without sex with a sexual person, yes, a lot of the time it's hard to get and you're not going to be able to get it because they'll just want sex and need it. But there will be a small minority of sexual people who will stay with you because they're attracted to multiple other factors of you, right? There'll be a very, very small minority of people in the world that will do that. So this is why I'm doing this video telling you how you can be more attractive without having sex, because that should help your chances, increase your chances of finding someone for a relationship that might not even be asexual. Right, the first one's being your true authentic self. The second one was confidence, and I'm finishing answering Yuva's questions about beauty and money. Right, let me just have a bit of water. So, money, is money a factor of attraction? So, beauty is. I'll just recap and say that beauty, obviously, for sexuals, is again very important when they're attracted. But again, it's not just about aesthetics; it's about personality. Some sexuals might find your personality hugely, hugely attractive because you're being your true authentic self, you're being confident, and that's refreshing when a lot of people in this world aren't. That's what can make you super attractive. So that can make you be a very beautiful person in and of your own right, because they're like, wow, this person's got an aura about them. They've got this confidence and charisma that I haven't seen before. I've seen a lot of fake boobs. I've seen a lot of plastering makeup all over your face, but I haven't seen this authenticity, this earthliness, this vibrancy before. So that can be, you know, a way of attracting sexuals as well, you know, not just through the physical look of you, but obviously, you know, with aesthetics plays a huge part in sexual attraction. It really does. Money, does money make a factor of attraction? Right, okay, I'm going to answer this truthfully, right? In terms of the traditional sexual dating scene, there are some women that like guys to have a lot of money and spend a lot of money on them. They are attracted to guys like that. So again, it's really an individual thing. They are attracted to guys that can spend a lot of money, that can have a lot of money, right? This is also twofold, right? Because someone who hasn't got any money, right, who isn't looking after themselves because they haven't got much money, who's not dressing themselves correctly, who's having food down their clothes, for example, who's not cutting their hair but letting it go scruffy, who's wearing dirty clothes, all that type of thing, that's unattractive, right? No one really wants to be with a person that looks like that usually, unless they're like that themselves, right? Because they're neglecting themselves. So it depends if the money is leading the person, or lack of money, because you haven't said about, you know, because money incorporates a lot of things. So if you haven't got much money but you're neglecting yourself in the process, and your personal appearance and your body odor, for example, you're not taking showers and stuff like that, then of course that's going to repulse someone and repel someone, right? If you've got a lot of debt, right, a lot of credit card debt, a lot of bank debt, that's not going to be an attractive quality. No one wants to go into a relationship usually with someone who's got a lot of debt on, because, you know, it's like your debt or their debt becomes your debt. Because, and you know, if you're living together and you've got all that debt on you, it's really hard to get a mortgage if you're looking to get a mortgage and have your own place if you've got a lot of debt, you know. And you know, like, it's like a person who got a lot of debt, they find it hard to control a part of their life, which is their finances, right? It's not very attractive, or you know, long term, to be with someone who can't manage their finance correctly. If a person hasn't got much money, right, but they are managing the finances to the best of their ability. They're trying different ways to make money if they can. They're trying to budget. They're looking after themselves the best they can. They're keeping their spirits up as much as they can. Then that is a much more attractive person, because they're keeping themselves looking good. If someone's lost their job, for example, they might not have any debt, or they might have a bit because they had to borrow money for food, that type of thing. That person can still be attractive in and of themselves, but obviously in that state they're not really going to be suitable to get into a relationship with if they haven't sorted that part of their life out. Because how can you live with a person like that if you want to live with them? Do you know what I mean? If you have a relationship, unless you live around the corner from each other, how are you going to spend money to travel to see each other? How are you gonna afford to eat together? Do you see what I mean? So money does play a role in relationships, and the biggest factor of people breaking up in relationships is usually not through being unfaithful, but through arguing about money or lack thereof. So money plays a huge part in relationships, whether we like it or not. Money does. You need money to live. You need money to eat. Right? I mean, I used to, when I was in a relationship before, I used to resent the fact that my ex used to spend hundreds of pounds on designer clothes, but yet he wouldn't get a decent bed while I was over there, because I stayed over here at a proportion of the week. He wouldn't get a decent bed for us to sleep on. So I was hurting my back because I could feel the springs, and I did resent him for that, because I thought he's not taking care of me, So money can make a factor of attraction for some people, yes. And someone who's got no money but not looking after themselves is unattractive. Someone who's got a lack of money but they're managing the finances better and doing the best they can in life is more attractive, because they're making use of resources. They're being they're trying to help themselves, and that's it's like, wow, that person hasn't got much money, but they're doing a really good job of trying to manage their finances. They're doing a really good job of trying to think of ways to make money. They're very resourceful, and that can be a very attractive quality, because you think, like, if you're in survival mode with them, they're going to really be trying to help you. They're going to, because they're like that themselves. They're going to be really trying to hone in and better themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? Ray, all the taxi drivers know me by name. Oh, that's brilliant, Ray. That's really good. I'm so happy to hear that. That's brilliant. That's good. Do you know their names, though, Ray? Do you know the taxi drivers' names? Because that's got to be your next mission. You've got to know all them by name as well, if they know you, if they're regulars and they know you. Sam, my dad used to be a driver and loved talking to his customers about their days. That is great. Oh, wow, Sam, I didn't know that. I don't think have you told me that before? Maybe I forgot. You might have told me that before. Aesthetics is a factor, but my tastes are fairly wide, and I usually become more attracted to a guy when I know them more. Personality is a big factor. Money is not something I'm attracted to. Sam, I agree, Sandra, of course. Someone needs to be looking after themselves and needs to be able to budget, even if they have very little. Yuva, thank you all. I'm so pleasure to hear that. Ray, yes, I do. Oh, that's good, Ray. This is really good that you know all the taxi drivers by name. It's, that's really, really good. Really good, because then taxi drivers kind of become a part of your life as well, if you know what I mean, which is nice. But yeah, so yeah. I mean, I know some people, right? I know a person, I'm not going to name them, but I know someone, not asexual, and they get into debt, right? And they keep taking, right? They get into debt and they're able to work hard to pay their debt back, yeah? But they're always continuing to get into debt. So what happens is they pay a lot of it off. They work that ass off. They work very hard, that ass off, to pay it back. Then they use their credit card for something else. And they spend a lot more than they need to, right? In 1 week, I think they bought three jackets, was it? Or three coats in 7 days or something. Does one person really need that many? I mean, I know the person loves shopping. They love it. So it's up to what they do. I'm not directly affected by that. But if I was in a relationship with the type of person that was going around spending loads of money and getting into debt all the time, I would be worried about them, and I would be worried about me being with them, because I'll be like, this person can't control their money. They see something, they just want to get it and spend their money. There's no control there. It's kind of like an addiction without them even realizing. Do you know what I mean? It's something that they're not controlling. And what else can't they control in their life? Do you see what I mean? I mean, I know this person is quite controlled in other areas of their life as it happens. But, you know, it's like, I wish they just cut their credit card, to be quite honest with you. I wish they just cut it up because it's not doing them any good. Do you know what I mean? I worry about them. Because you've got no savings behind you and all you've got is debt. It's not very good, is it? Especially when you're spending beyond your means. Yeah, it's good. It's very good, Ray. So yeah, so you know, it depends, you know, and I do worry about the person I know who gets into debt, you know, because it's like I feel relieved for them when they're like, oh, I'm just paying the last bit off now, and I'm like, yes, this is so good for them because I know that how hard they've worked, hours and hours, you know, which has affected their health to get that money back, and then the next like thing, you know, a few weeks later or even less than that. So I've had to put that on the credit card because I just needed that and I just needed to buy this and I just needed to buy that. And you kind of like feel just like going, you know what I mean? Like, I can't see them being able to get out of that pattern at the moment. You know, I hope they do. I really, really hope they do for their sake because I worry about them. I worry about, you know, in future, if they've got no savings behind them whatsoever and they're continually spending all the time, then it's not going to be healthy for them. So anyway, I haven't gone on to number 3, people. Number 3. I wrote this down, right? Number 3. Okay, what can make you attractive? The third thing that can make you more attractive without having sex is to be busier. So Sam talked about productivity earlier, right? Being productive, right? If you lead a busy life, right, and you're doing your goals, ambitions, and dreams, you're taking part in your passions, you are keeping yourself busy when you're not around people, that makes you more attractive when you're with people because you've got more stuff to talk about with them. You know, excuse me, the things you do, you know, the places you like to go to, all this type of thing, you know. The more you get out and about and do stuff and keep yourself busy in your own life, the more that makes you attractive for other people. Right. So if someone's at home all the time just watching TV, they haven't really got much of a life outside of the screen, right? If you get with that person in a relationship, what's the conversation going to be like? I watched this soap tonight. I watched this documentary tonight. And you might say, oh, well, what was in the documentary or what was in the soap? But it's not learning about them all their life and it's not them living their passion. So someone who's living their passion, their purpose, their life goal, their ambitions and dreams, their hobbies, they are far more attractive to be around, right? So this is, again, how asexuals can be very attractive without having sex. You know, if a heterosexual person, for example, comes along and they meet, for example, maybe a female that's really good looking, you know, and you know, very attractive aesthetically, but you know, they're just sat at home watching TV all day. The guy comes home from work, sees her doing that, he's just like, and what have you done with your day? And she's like, oh, I painted my nails today. I went, you know, she might say I went out with a girlfriend, which would make him a bit more interested. But if she's like, oh, I sat at home, I just watched some TV, painted my nails, dossed around the house, it's not going to be very attractive, really, to the guys. It's going to be like the guy's been out to work all day, he's trying to get money coming in, she's just sat at home doing nothing. This is a stereotypical thing, you know, like it can be the opposite. Because I used to, like, at one point, I used to be in a full-time job and my ex used to be working part-time and I used to support us more financially, you know? So it can work the opposite way around, where the guy's not doing much with his life and you're going out to work. Do you know what I mean? So don't just think this is gender specific. It's not. But for example, that person's not going to be so attractive when you come home, oh, thanks for the thumbs up, and you've got nothing much to talk about because they're not keeping themselves busy. They're not doing anything, right? Similarly, if the guy's just going out to work, you know, and he's not got any other interests, no, he's not doing any creative stuff, he's not playing a guitar, he's not baking cakes, he's not, you know, talking about like science or making some interesting conversations, you know, because he's learning stuff, then he's going to be boring to talk to. Keeping yourself busy means you're more attractive because you've got a life of your own. And that is far more attractive than when you're needing to be in a relationship all the time because you're not fulfilled in your own life, right? You're not fulfilling your own life. Some people, right, they might not want you to be busy. They might want you to be with them 24/7, 365 days a year. In the past, that used to be the type of person I was more like. I'm going to put my hand on my heart now and say, because I wasn't leading my authentic life, because I didn't have many hobbies, interests and stuff. I just wanted to spend all my time with the guy because he was like my life back then. And I wasn't really living my life much, you know? I wasn't really doing much outside of work. So hand on my heart, I used to be more of that type of person. And, you know, if you've kind of got another person that's really into you and doing the same type of thing, yeah, it can be all right for a while, but it can be very claustrophobic. It can be very unhealthy and it can get very monotonous and boring, really. And you can end up not being a very healthy relationship at all. It's not good, to be honest. So it's really important that you keep yourself busy, that you have your own ambitions and goals and things you enjoy in life, your own hobbies. It's really important. Sam, I always find someone with personal passions, etc., more attractive than someone who does nothing with their lives. I'm 100% with you on that, Sam. I always find that type of person more attractive. Yeah, much more attractive as I am now in my life now, you know? That's why I get attracted to autistic guys, particularly, because autistic guys seem to be so productive and into doing stuff all the time and into doing their projects. And I find that very attractive. Makes me want to kiss them more, to be honest with you. It's like, oh, it's so attractive. It's just like, you know, it's like they're really doing something productive. There's something to me that attracts me about productivity. It's like there's an energy about it. There's this energy when someone's being productive, even when they're talking and saying about their day, even if you don't know they've done very much, but they're talking about that they've done something. It's like this energy they exude, which again it grows their confidence, and it's kind of an energetic confidence, and it's an authenticity. It encompasses all three things because they're living their passions, they're being more confident about something they're good at or something they're enjoying learning, even if they're not that good at it. They're confident they're gonna learn it, they're confident they're gonna learn how to do it, and they're just so much more passionate about life. They come alive, right? They're alive because they're excited and thrilled for it, you know. I love writing. I come alive when I talk about writing. I even look at myself in the, I mean, without looking at myself in the mirror, I know I come alive just by feeling in my body, my persona, my actions, my expressions. When I talk about writing, when I talk about my Asexual Guide to Sex book, right, which is the next asexual book that's coming out, right, which I will be publishing next year, right, I am so excited for that book, even though the subject matter is sex, right? I am so excited for that book because I know for a fact it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be the best book ever written about sex because it gets down to the nitty gritty of the reality of the situation, which the other books they just mask over, right? They're just all about all the, oh, let's have more sex, right? I'm not saying those books are not valid in and of themselves. They're fine. They've got an audience. It's good, right? But there's not a book like out on the market that tells you the nitty gritty truth, the good, the bad and ugly about sex. They're all geared towards getting sex in a relationship, getting sex and dating. You know, they're specifically like, they kind of glorify it a lot, sensationalize it, you know, and they don't tell you about the bad side of it, right? Asexuals get fed up of sex being put on a pedestal. They don't want to hear it. They get fed up of sex being sensationalized. If they're thinking about sex, they want a logical way of talking about it. They want a very practical way of talking about it because it's something that we don't usually naturally want to do. But some asexuals will think about doing it because they might be in partnership with a heterosexual person or a homosexual person, for example, and they might not be adverse to giving it a go. Or I know some people, for religious reasons, they are involved in an arranged marriage. I have women coming to me in private message, I'm really scared, Sandra. My parents want to arrange marriage for me. This is my culture. This is what they do. I can't stop them. Well, what do I do when I don't want sex and my husband will want sex? What do I do? How do I go about it? What's going to be involved? They're scared shitless, excuse my language. This book is going to help those type of people. So there is a market, even within asexuals, for talking about sex, right? And I know the book is so amazing. The people that take part, it's like you're in their mind. It's like you can see the difference between an asexual mind about sex and a sexual one. There is nothing on the market like it. That is why I'm so excited for this book. And I love writing. To be able to bring this book out that's never been done before about sex. I just want it to take the world by storm. I want it to take everyone by storm, even the sexual people. I want to read it because I want it to open their eyes to the damn truth about sex, not the glorified part of it. The fact that sex can be very difficult in terms of where to put your hands, like what to do during it, like not getting it right straight away, because it's a skill, right? If you want to learn that skill. If you don't, that's fine. But you know what I'm saying? And so when I talk about writing, my whole persona changes. I feel it in my body. And that's the same with anyone who's living their passions. This third point about being busy and being productive is a major form of attraction, right? If you're living a true authentic life, if you're coming alive, if you're passionate, my God, the right people, I'm not talking about the wrong people who don't like vibrancy and energy, and they're like, oh, you're too energetic for me, I'm going off, fine, let them go. You want to repel the people that are not attracted to you. Not everyone's going to be attracted to that, right? But the right people, the right person will be attracted. They'll be like, oh God, I feel her energy. I'm getting energy from her. I want to be around her more. I want to speak to her. I want to be in her circle. I want to be around that person. I feel like I've got energy boost. I feel like I'm being pumped up naturally. I'm not taking a pill for energy. I'm being around her. She's like vibrant and energetic, and I'm getting a boost to it. Naturally. She's like a natural energy reviver. Do you know what I'm saying? So when people are living their passions, it's like, I love it when me and Sam have conversations backwards and forwards about, Sam's like, oh, I'm working on Space Era. This is what I'm doing. I've had a really productive day. I've been doing some Wikipedia stuff. And it's like, I feel that energy. It's like they're on a train and they're going faster and faster, in a good way, but steady way, and it's like they're really enjoying it. It's like chug, 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 and it's energy and it's vibrancy, It really, really is. If you contrast that with someone else, for example, who's just going out, their life not being so good, they've got nothing in their life, they're not doing anything with their life, life's boring, right? Like contrast that with their guy on Ace Book, ace-book.net or ace-book.net. Like, why is it so hard to be happy? Do you know what I mean? Contrast that with a guy like him who's on an asexual dating site. Why would I be attracted to him when all he's going on about is, oh, why is it so hard to be happy? It's not hard to be happy. The truth is, it's not hard to be happy. We make it hard ourselves. The truth is, all you have to do to be happy is choose to be happy. That's it. Choose to be happy, right? Which may be hard in and of itself, but it's not hard in the sense you've got a choice that you can choose to be happy in a situation. If the situation is going to be a situation you can't stop or change, choose in that moment to be as happy as you possibly can be about it, because the alternative is being miserable. And that is no good for you. It's not healthy for you. So I could sit here being negative about the fact that I'm in my own place, which I love because I don't think negatively. But I could sit here thinking I'm in my own place and no one knows that I'm even here half the time, and anything can happen. Sometimes I do. I mean, to be honest, I could die here and no one would know. That is the truth. But, I've also got my space. I've got my beautiful colours around my home. I've got beautiful sparkly things going on. I've got a lot of safety here. The house is full of other people in it, even though I live separately to them, my own self-contained flat. I don't live behind me. There's no one behind me. So that means I've got a great degree of freedom. Most people have a house face, right next to them. Round the back, over my window, there's no one. It's a car park. I love my life. But if I looked at it in a negative way, I would be disassociated from life, cut off from life. So it's all about a mindset shift, But when you're productive and you're doing that stuff, if I'm here, I'm building a website, I'm doing something. It's like, wow, look how much you've got done in your life. Whereas other people just sat at home watching TV, or they're in a 9-to-5 job, being bored out of their brain. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. Sam. Oh yeah, that's what I got before. I always find someone with personal passion that's such more attractive. That's great. Ray, so many stay in and watch soaps. Exactly, Ray. Ray does go out. Ray is down the beach a lot. Beach? Is it a beach? Yeah, beach with their dog. And Ray does archery and shooting. So Ray is very active, which is good. It makes him a more interesting person. And also it gets him out the house and gets him busy, and he's good at it. When you're good at it, you get more confident in your life, and that confidence usually goes into other aspects of your life. It's really, really important. And soaps are just like a waste of time, to be quite honest. You're just wasting your life away. I used to be a soap addict. I'm telling you this because it's all, I'm just pouring more water. It's all personal experience. I'm not telling you as a bullshit person just reeling stuff off YouTube videos and copying everyone. I'm telling you this because I've learned all this for myself over the years. If I didn't have all those experiences that weren't so good in my life in the past, I wouldn't be able to sit here now helping you. Right, so oh, W Ilsa, is that Isla? W Isla, is that how I pronounce your name? Good evening to you. Lots of love. Welcome. Really appreciate you being here. W Ilsa, Isla, is that right? I hope I've pronounced your name right. Yes, Sam. Yes, Ray. Too many people do. Which is watch soaps. Yeah. W Isla. I'm happy to find this interesting and entertaining channel. Please call me William from Queens, New York in Atlanta. Oh, hi, William. It's lovely to see you. Yeah, this is a channel predominantly about asexuality and asexuals, but I do a lot more stuff. I talk about a lot of dating relationships, which obviously can apply to people that are not asexuals. Do a lot of personal growth on this channel, a lot of personal development. So, you know, if you subscribe and hit the bell icon, you'll get notified every time I go live, which is regularly. So it's basically a chat show. It used to just be like I used to record videos every now and again. Then I did live streaming. I started last year live streaming every night. And now we have like a chat show going on pretty much every night. So I'm usually here for like 1 or 2 hours a night these days. It's like 7 to 14 hours I'm talking for, which is why I have to keep my throat hydrated all the time. Whoops, I've just spilled water over me now. Right, okay. Yes, welcome, William. It's really love to have you here. So I do talk a lot about not having sex because being asexual, I don't experience sexual attraction. So I do say about the benefits of not having sex. So obviously, some heterosexuals or sexuals in general won't be used to that. But it's important that we all mingle together in the world, whether we're sexual or asexual. It's very important that we love each other and care about each other and learn from each other. Very important. Welcome, William, says Ray and Sam. Yes. Someone on ASAP just said bored with life. Yes, Sam, exactly. There are lots of people on ASAP. I don't know if I can actually, there's someone talking to me on ASAP again now. Right, okay. Yes. So yeah, there's a lot of people on ASAP. I don't know if I can actually show them because I don't think it's fair to show their picture. But there are a lot of people on Facebook that, you know, they have really down faces as well. Where are they? But yes, I've seen them as well. I mean, this person, right? It's just like, I mean, they've got stuff going on in their life, but they are saying about the fact that they're cynical and sarcastic and stuff like that, which doesn't make them very attractive to me, to be honest. But there are people that go about bored of life, or their face looks like they're bored. But yeah, there's quite a lot of, I was trying to get one up. Not much to say, that person said. But yeah, I've seen quite a lot of those. Sam's the one that says I'm bored with life. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's really funny. There's a guy in here saying German speaking only in English. It's quite funny. But yeah, there's been quite a few people that are like that on here. I can't find them all now, but I do agree there's quite a lot of, like, there's a lot of people that just watch TV as well. I love TV series, mountains, dogs and the moon. Well, that's great, but where's the conversation in that? It's not very much conversation. Mountains, like, what type of mountains do you like? Dogs I like, so that's good. But yeah, but they're the ones that say they're bored with life means they're not busy. That's what Sam's trying to say. You know what I mean? It means they don't really do much with their life. And well, that's how it comes across. You know, they might actually do more stuff with their life, but you know, saying that's not very attractive. So being busy is very attractive to the right person. Like a guy, for example, who just wants me to be at his beck and call all the time is going to be repulsed by that. Like, you remember this? There was this guy that I said that was from Bangladesh who kissed me last Tuesday at the club, who wanted to see me again, right? But they made no definite plans to actually have a date. He asked me Could he see me the next night? And I said, no, I'm busy. And then he was sort of talking about other days in the week. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm working all this week. Next week I can, and I'll be free. He said, oh, I'm on a day off Monday or Tuesday, so I could see you one of those days. Text me which day. So I got back home. I didn't have his number, so I said, I don't have your number. So he gave me his number. I said, you took mine, but you didn't me yours. I messaged him the next day and said about Monday. And instead of him saying, oh, that's great, thanks for getting back to me, let's do Monday then, and set a definite day, set that as a definite day, and set a time and a place to meet, he just didn't do that. He didn't follow through. So there was no concrete plans at all whatsoever. And then he shows up last night, the night before now, because it was Monday, while I was on my stream, messaged me, which I was joking about in the beginning of the stream. I was joking, saying, oh, this guy will probably turn up now, going, oh, I want to see you now. Do you know what I mean? When he hasn't actually made plans. And that's exactly what he did. I've got a day off tomorrow. I can see you in the evening. And it's like, later on he went to say I can see you in the evening. But it's like, I don't know where we got to on the conversation last night with the live stream. Right. Yeah, this is right. So this is what I put when I was on the live stream, right? So he didn't talk to me since Friday. He didn't make any plans for the Monday that I told you, which I told him that I could do Monday originally, but he just didn't follow through. He didn't. I said, what do you want to do on the Monday? Where do you want to go? I wasn't going to chase him, because you shouldn't chase people. The person's that interested in you, they really want to see you, they'll make plans, right? Good plans that help you both, unless they're just being selfish and after themselves. So if you're a really busy person like I am, a guy who's the wrong type of guy will be repelled by that, because they'll just be wanting the attention on them all the time, and for me to drop my plans for them, which I won't do. Right, so probably this guy's not going to speak to me again now, which is fine, because I said we're incompatible anyway. Right, so he then messaged me last night while I was on the stream at 23:07 saying, hi, tomorrow my day off. And then this is where I left the conversation yesterday on the stream. I'm busy now tomorrow because you didn't make plans to see me in advance. So now I have work and have customers to see, which was true. If you're seriously interested in me, you will have to work harder than that, right? This is what I put on when I was on the stream. After I finished the stream at 1:54 in the morning, he then messaged me back going, your choice. Oh no, you choose. You are choose, meaning your choice, or and then he said tomorrow free, ache, and then evening time. So meaning he's free in the evening, right? So again, he's kind of dictating not just the day he wants to see me, but the time he wants to see me, again, right? So I put, if you want to see me again, then I need you to arrange it in advance with me, not less than 24 hours before, because I have work to do in a life of my own. You should arrange with me a week before and specify a time, date, and stick to it. Tomorrow is not convenient for me now. I am busy. You had the opportunity to arrange this with me last Wednesday, and instead you did not make any definite plans with me and follow through. I'm not the type of girl who would just drop her plans for a guy. I do important work, and if you are as interested in me as you say you are, you will make plans in advance with me and stick to them. Most of my work I do in the evening and at night. I do a live show every night, usually from 11 p.m. and just finished after 2 hours. Christmas is a busy time for me too. A good guy won't expect you to drop all your plans for him. He will involve you in his life and say, hey, when are you free? When can we meet up? I really want to see you. And then when you've suggested, if he says like, when do you want to do it? And he said he's off, he'll arrange that with you, a day, date, and time, place, and he'll stick to it, unless some real catastrophe happens. Do you know what I mean? And so then he said, what time work finish? In other words, what time you finish your work? And I put, because we're still talking about today, yesterday now, because after 1 in the morning, I put, I'm working all day and evening too, up to Christmas Eve, and then staying with my parents until Friday, as I have work to do again, and then going back to stay with them over New Year. Yeah, I'm specifically coming back from my parents to just spending Christmas Day and Boxing Day with them, then coming back on Friday afternoon, literally to spend time working on Saturday, Friday, probably later on Friday, but I don't know, I might have some relaxation on time Friday with some movies, if possible, because I usually get bought movies for Christmas. But Saturday and Sunday, I will be working, right? I'll be busy, right? So I'm coming back specifically to work, whereas most people want the break. I could do with the break in some ways, but I need to work, right? And then I'll be going back to them for New Year. So I said last night I only had 2 hours sleep the whole time from 1 a.m. to 3 p.m. I just finished my live show with my fans and off to sleep soon as I have a customer in the morning at 11 a.m. and only had those 2 hours of sleep since Friday night. And then he's asked me, what job do you do? And then the next minute he said, not again meet you, yes? Meaning, I'm not going to meet you again, am I? And I put, so I told him what I do. I sell physical products to customers to get extra cash. I have to list the products one by one, go to the post office, meet people in person. I also write books and do online training courses. I'm looking for a guy for a relationship, not a casual meetup. I said that to him. I'm looking for a guy who is totally honest with me and who doesn't need sex and who supports me in my work. Someone who will have intelligent conversation with me and wants something deep and meaningful. And someone who will arrange a week in advance to see me. So I can put it on my calendar and schedule it in advance. All my friends have to book in time to see me, not just expect me to drop my plans for them. If you are not this type of guy, then it won't work with us. I need a guy who will put a lot of time, energy, and effort into having a real relationship with me, not a casual hookup. And I haven't heard from him since, which I don't expect to now, really. Not unless he's going to decide that, oh, I really want to see her again and message me in a few days' time or whatever. But do you know what I mean? I'm not after a hookup. Which the only thing I can think by the fact he's leaving it to last minute is obviously it's on his terms and he's being quite selfish in that respect. And it's like more like a hookup, like, oh, I want to see you tonight. It's like, well, why can't you see me in the day? You want to see me at night because it's more of a hookup culture at night, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Sam, make your own path in life. Exactly. It's really important. But you see, I've repelled that guy. I've repelled him because I'm that busy. But just because I'm that busy, he could have said, okay, right, I understand you're going to your parents for Christmas because that's quite natural to do. He even told me he goes back to London 3 or 4 times each week. I mean, most women are not going to like that. If they want a relationship with him, they are not going to like him going back to his parents, to his mum's 3 or 4 times every week. What woman is really going to want that unless she's like me and doesn't mind not living with the person, doesn't mind not seeing the person every single night? Most women, especially in the heteronormative world, because he's heterosexual, even though he lied and said he doesn't like sex, most heteronormative people, they want to spend a lot more time with the person, especially as they like sex. So that, you know, most women don't really want their guy, even if they don't see them all the time, to be so far away all the time, like living this double life, you know, like kind of like what actually is happening with that? Why are you up there, Nanny? You see, I don't think he's totally telling the truth a lot of the time anyway, because first of all, he said he was on holiday down here. Then he said he's got a job down here, which I know where he said he worked is a true place, which I think was where the other Indian guy that was dancing with me actually owns, the place he owns, restaurant he owns. And then he's like, oh, my mum lives in London. I go up there 3 or 4 times. It's like I'm back there and down here and back there. And it's like, what's going on with that? You know, for all I know, he could have a blooming wife and kids somewhere hidden, couldn't he? I don't think he has, because I don't think he's that type of person. But you know what I mean? It's a bit dodgy. You could have a girlfriend up there, for all I know. Do you know what I'm saying? Not many women would be too keen on that idea, you know? So, you know, he's got to think of that, you know? But, you know, I'm not going to drop my plans for him. And a person shouldn't, you know, if you're living your true authentic life, being productive, yes, you have to factor someone into your life. You have to make time for them. But if he'd arranged to see me Monday, when he had the chance on Wednesday last week, because he asked me to message him specifically with what I could do, if he'd arranged it then, I would have kept that arrangement with him. And I would have seen him. I would have followed through with it. Unless he was really horrible, you know, then I would have, you know, I would have gone to see him. But he didn't. So I'm not going to go out of my way to cut all my plans for him. It's not going to work because he's just going to want things on his own terms all the time. So someone who is very selfish, who's not loving you or caring about you for the right reasons, and who's attracted to you for the wrong reasons, or the reasons that you don't want them to be attracted to you, i.e. I want a long-term committed relationship with someone eventually, not just a hookup, right? Which is what's obviously on his mind, even if it's just hooking up with me for passionate kissing, because he ain't going to get sex out of me, right? I want someone who cares about me for my personality, wants to have me in their life because they like me as a person, right? Then that's going to repel that type of person. So, you can be attractive to people without having sex, and these three things make you attractive: being your true authentic self, being confident, and leading a busy, productive life. But don't forget, they will repel the person that's wrong for you, which is what you want to do. So just because you do these three things doesn't mean to say everyone's going to be happy, and especially if they've not got a happy life. If they are miserable, they might resent you for what you're doing in your life. They might, they might not like someone who's very confident because it shows them up because they're not very confident. So you've got to understand that these three things make you a more attractive person in general, but there will be certain people that are repulsed by it for whatever reason, and that's okay, because being your true authentic self means you're going to get people who are repulsed or repelled by you. Because if you're being true to who you are, not everyone's going to like the real you. Like some people don't like the fact I'm really outspoken, blunt, and say things as I mean them, and very direct, especially for a female. It's not the done thing, really, is it? It's not a done thing for a female like me on YouTube to talk about past sexual life despite being asexual, is it? It's not really the done thing. It's not, when I talk about sexual stuff, I talk about it very matter of fact way. It's not the done thing, is it, really? Most women are quite mousy like that. They're quite like a mouse in some ways, unless they're doing a channel specifically geared towards that. But even then, they're kind of more generic, I think. And a lot of women don't tell it like it is. That kind of tends to be more of a male sort of trait, I think. Right. So, W Isla. I tried dating sites. It's really overrated. My career makes me social, but I'm very homebodied. Okay. Um. Oh. What were you saying as well? Yuva, you must to be positive. Plus, plus, plus. Yeah, it's really important to be positive. But obviously, when you get into a real relationship, you have to know that that person is not going to be positive 100% of the time. But obviously, to be more attractive, the more positive you are, the more happy you are, the more you're having fun in your life, the more people want to be around you, because those are attractive things. They make people feel good about themselves. So the more you make people feel good about themselves, the more attractive you are in and of yourself. But you have to understand, that in a real relationship, there are going to be times when that other person isn't happy all the time, when sometimes they are feeling a bit down and tearful and upset and in pain. So, if you love a person, you're going to accept that, as long as that person isn't like that 24/7, because obviously that's not going to be healthy for you to be in a relationship with someone who's always feeling like that about themselves, because they need to get help and support in that way. You need to see a therapist or a counsellor, which you can't be that to them. You can only be a listening ear. But obviously, you've got to keep your own mindset and self healthy as well. But obviously, a real relationship, people will love you through the ups and downs. There's going to be some times when you freak out or have a bad moment or a bad day. It happens, and you should be able to tell the people you love and your friends, look, I'm having a bad day today. This hasn't gone right. This isn't very good. That's fine. People who want to improve their life and be productive and constantly, trying to help themselves, that's good. If people don't want to be miserable, they're having an off day and they're feeling bad, that's fine. It happens. I sometimes have a freak out session. Sometimes things get on things like like if I worry too much, because I do still have some anxiety. If I worry too much and I focus on some things that are not so good, like more negative things, for example, things that could go wrong, then I do freak out sometimes. I do get really upset sometimes. It does happen. I'm a human being. I'm not like this perfect person who can be bright, bubbly, and happy 100% of the time, 365 days a year, right? There are times when I'm going to be crying, but usually nowadays when I'm crying, I know that it's going to pass. I know this is not going to be like my life every single day, right? W is, oh yeah, you said your career makes you social, but I'm very homebodied. Well, if you find someone who's equally like enjoys the home, then that's great. But what I would say about being homebodied is, what type of things are you doing at home? Are you doing something creative? Are you reading books to learn things? Are you watching educational videos like this one to improve your development and grow you? Because those are conversations you can then have. Like the more you take in information and learn from it, the more you can grow yourself as a person, which then becomes a focal point of discussion and talking, and makes you a more interesting person. Do you know what I mean? So the only thing about being homebodies is if you're doing things at home that are productive, or if you're just sat at home watching TV all the time, then obviously, that's not going to be so attractive to some people, because you're not going to have so much to talk about. but there's nothing wrong with being homebodied if you enjoy that, you know, but you just have to think about if you want to be more attractive to someone, it's good if you've got, you know, like hobbies and interests at home, productive things, creative things, like not just staying at home watching TV all the time. Because it's not, you know, I'm not attracted to someone who's just sat at home watching TV all the time. But you know, there's going to be other people that, for example, that Netflix is like a major hobby of theirs. They love doing that. So if you both want to watch Netflix together, you know, that might make them more attractive to you, because it's like, oh, my favorite shows on Netflix, I have to watch them every single day. So they become more attracted to you for that. But, you know, you have to be able to hold a conversation still and talk about different things. So, you know, in order to be more attractive, it's good if you've got more than one thing going on in your life. You've got several different interests. Do you know what I'm saying? Sam, if you're being true to yourself, you will repel the people who are not right for you anyway, and attract the right people. Exactly, Sam. That's exactly what I say on this channel, as you know. You will definitely repel the people who are not right for you. Like, I know this guy, this Bangladeshi guy, he loves me physically with the kissing, but I know that he's going to get probably bored of a person that's got her own life, because he wants a girl that's very much like runs her life around him, which probably a younger girl might even suit him in that way. W Isla, subscribe to channel. Oh, thank you, lots of love, I appreciate that. Many blessings, and thanks so much for sharing your experience for others to make better decisions. Oh, thank you. I'm really, really pleased you find this channel helpful. If you know any friends that find it helpful, please share it. I really appreciate that. You should always be able to be open and honest with a partner and share your feelings and thoughts. Exactly. So despite what I've said about, you know, being like happy and stuff, and being, you know, people are attracted, people are happy, you can't be that way all the time, because that's not being authentic, right? So they need to see you with your worst bits as well, because that is more attractive if you can show that. If you're hiding your worst bits, and every time you've got a catastrophe or you're feeling depressed or miserable, you just disappear and don't tell people about it, that's not being authentic either and real, you know. So if you're having a bad day, it's best to express saying, I'm having a bad day today. Like, you know, like if someone's got time to chat, they've got time to chat, but don't forget people do have their own lives, you know. So you've got to just like be careful of that as well, you know. But you know, you should be able to share your thoughts and feelings, exactly, and say, you know, I'm not feeling great about this at the moment, I'm not feeling good, or I'm worried about this, or I'm scared about this, because that's about being authentic and true. And the right people will be attracted to that type of person. The right person will be very attracted to that, because they'll find it, again, very unique, very different in a world that's trying to cover things up. You know, if you're being really open and honest, sharing the good and bad about your life, then that's a much more attractive thing. You'll attract people, the right people to you, who'll want that authenticity. They'll want to know that you've got ups and downs. If you come across as this perfect person all the time, people can't relate to that. So if you never have any downs, people won't be able to relate to that. They'll be just like, oh, she's happy all the time. They might think, what's she doing? You know, they might, you know, partly idolize that, but in the other sense, it'll come across as totally unrealistic, unreal, and they can't relate. It's like, well, she's got the perfect life, good for her. Like, the reason people get attracted to people as well is because they share the ups and downs with them. They share their, you know, their discomfort. They share when things go wrong. Like on my channel, I shared, didn't I, on the last episode, the fact that I'm going to be allowing myself to kiss outside a relationship, which I've not done before, which is very out of my comfort zone. It's very out of character for me, right? And that I'll be learning things as I go along, because I do have this thing where I do get attached to guys very easily, less so than I used to. I'm better than I used to be. I have improved. But, you know, I'm going to be sharing my journey of that next year more when I go out clubbing and meet different guys and how it's going. You know, like this guy, the Bangladeshi, I have a little bit of attachment for. And I analysed myself, like, why have I got some attachment to this guy? I don't really know him, because I had such a good time with him. And that is what makes a person attractive as well. When you have such a good time with the person, when they make you feel good, where they give you a good experience when you're with them, that makes you super attractive. That's why he was attracted to me, because not only was attracted to my kissing, he was attracted to the way I made him feel when I kissed him, because I made him feel so good about himself, because I made him feel attractive about himself, and because he loved the act of me kissing him, that made me super attractive to him. But that is like a more that is more like a surface level attraction. It's not that deep attraction that I'm looking to get from a long-term committed relationship. And that's why he's kind of reacting the way he is. He's like looking at the surface level stuff. Even though he said to me he's looking for an English girl for a relationship, basically, you know? So it's kind of a bit contradictory. It's like, hang on a minute, if you're looking for a relationship, then you should be a bit more invested in this. But maybe you're not looking for an actual relationship with me. Maybe you just want an English girl. But I got it. He was like, he was calling me his girl, which, you know, I'm like, I'm not your girl because I don't know you yet, you know? But he was kind of obviously thinking a little bit that way, but you know, it's no good. But I am like, you know, part of me will be thinking, I was thinking today, is he going to message me again? Is he going to message me? You know, and I need to let that go, and I will let it go. If I don't hear from him for a while, I'll just be like, yeah, that's it. I'm not hearing from him again. That's fine. But I got a feeling I might see this guy out again, you know? So and then how will I react? Will I not speak to him? Will I end up dancing with him again? Will I not dance with him again? You know, this is all kind of like I'm not 100% sure at the moment because like I like having a good time. I like dancing. If I'm dancing on my own and he happened to be there, maybe I would dance with him again. But I've got to then remember that I've told him that I'm, you know, these are my standards, and if you don't live up to it, then I don't really want much more to do with you. So it's kind of like, will I still have stuff to do with him in the club, but then not outside of it again, or what? So you know, you've got all these questions, but I'm sharing my own life journey in order to help you in yours. You know, life is a learning curve. I give myself permission to not be perfect. I give myself permission to do things that might not work out. I give myself permission to try things, to have new experiences, to get out of my comfort zone, to do some stuff consciously that's out of character for me. So when you're doing stuff like this, you need in order to be authentic about it, you need to do it consciously. I've consciously made a decision that I'm allowing myself to kiss outside a relationship. I can kiss what guys I want when I want, as long as I feel comfortable and happy doing so. That's up to me. So by granting myself that leniency, that experience, I'm actively consciously aware of doing that. So it's not so out of character for me. It's out of character because it's out of my comfort zone. It's out of character because it's not what I usually agree with. But by allowing myself to do that and giving myself permission to do that, it's still being authentic to who I am because I'm doing it with a conscious thought and I'm doing it with conscious power. Do you see what there's difference between that? There's something very different between a person doing something because other people are doing it because they just think they'll give it a go for the heck of it without really understanding their own motives for doing so, without really understanding why they're doing it. I'm doing it to learn from it, to have a learning experience, to try new things, because if I keep doing the same things, I'll always get the same result and I will not learn anything. So I'm doing it with purpose, with meaning, with a consciousness. And that is powerful because it still means you're being your true, authentic self whilst allowing yourself to be like a different person in some ways. Does this make sense? So someone who's being unauthentic would just be doing something for the sake of it because other people do it. They don't have a clue why. It's just like they're on autopilot. Oh, that person's doing it. Let's copy them. That is someone who's not being their true, authentic self. There was someone who came to a meetup, right? And they were copying another person's drink and they left the drink. I'm like, you don't like the drink? They're like, no, I bought it because this person bought it. And I thought I'd just get it. That's someone who's not really being their true, authentic self. They're just getting it for the sake of someone else is doing it. I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? That person needs to work on themselves, you know, in their life and work on themselves because they're really, really like kind of like reflecting other people off of them all the time. They're not really getting to the nitty gritty of who they are. Does that make sense? So when you're trying new things, you know, do it with consciousness, do it with purpose, do it with integrity, do it with vibrancy, do it with a consciousness. That's how you can do it authentically and still be your authentic self because you are like wearing a different persona but consciously doing it. Like next year I'm going to be doing new businesses, right? They're going to be out of my comfort zone to a certain extent, but I've learned so much now that I'm a lot more confident in those areas. Again, confidence is attractive. So I know what I'm doing really. And I'm very, very confident. It's still out of my comfort zone because it's still different to what I've been doing to a certain extent, but it's an extension of what I'm doing. I feel I'm ready now to do those things, right? Which I wasn't confident enough before. I have to be confident when I'm doing new business stuff, right? Because people are not going to be attracted to someone who's not confident in what they're doing and doesn't know what they're talking about, right? So again, it's all about being your authentic self, being confident, keeping busy, and living your truth. And if you try anything out in life, you should be doing it from a point of view of this deep authenticity within your being, because you have to usually become a different person. In order to get a better quality life, you have to upgrade yourself, become a different version of you, become a better version of you. This requires change. This requires you becoming a different person to a certain extent, right? It might mean you becoming a very, very different person, so that you look back at your life and you're like, my God, 6 years ago I was this person, now I'm this person. I mean, if I look back at my life, I'm very, very different. Up till 2012, I suffered depression nearly all my life. I was a different person. I couldn't even be in a group of people. I could only speak to one-on-one, part with the exception that sometimes I could be with two guys, because I've always had more guy friends usually than female. So at college, I had two male friends at once, both called Andy, as it happens. One was nice. One was nice to me sometimes and not nice to me other times. So he wasn't even a true friend. But I hadn't got many friends at times, so I kind of hang around with him. And the other guy was called Annie. He was quite nice actually. Went off and emigrated abroad and married someone. So it can happen. But yeah. So but I remember playing pool with both of them. I beat both of them, even though they were both against me. That was quite funny. So that was it. That was at college though. That wasn't at school, right? But in general, I couldn't be in a group with two women. I never went go, but I had a real big problem being in groups. It's only one-to-one. But now I hold asexual meetups. I can be in groups, right? It's a huge change. I used to be very negative, very self-absorbed person. Not because I was meaning to be horrible, but because I was feeling so bad about myself, my life. I didn't like it. I didn't like myself. I was feeling so much pain and that no one cared about me and gave a shit. So why should I? Attitude, which is the wrong attitude to have. It was because I didn't give a shit about me that other people didn't really. Do you know what I mean? And so, but you can end up being in the wrong environment sometimes. You can be around people that are no good for you, that tell you negative stuff all the time, that make you feel bad about yourself, make you feel like you can't make any decisions for yourself, distort your reality. Especially if you've had abusive relationships, which I've been as well. They can distort all your reality. They can make you seem like you're crazy and that everything's your fault and all that type of stuff. So when you're in that type of environment, there's some weird stuff going on. It's very difficult to change your life and be who you truly are. You have to get away from those people. In 2011, my ex and I split up. He split up with me, which I wanted him to do. I wouldn't. I wanted him to make the decision because we split up before and he stalked me. And it was no good. So I wanted him to definitely end it. So I knew that he wouldn't stalk me. He still tried a little bit to come back into my life. Well, a major bit. He slashed it, he cut his wrist, but he didn't really make much of an effort. He just perforated a little tiny bit of skin. Right, I'm not going to go back to him. You know what I mean? He did that to try and get me back, and he kept turning up outside my home a couple of times. But when I said that I had fibromyalgia then and I had guinea pigs to live with me, they was his two of his worst nightmares. I know it sounds weird, but he was jealous of my guinea pigs back then. He used to, one day he punched a hole in the wall because he was jealous of my guinea pigs. I came back, I thought, God, what must have been like for those guinea pigs, to have a hole punched against their cage, above their cage. They must have been so scared with a guy like that. That could have been my face. I'm glad it wasn't actually them that they got hurt. It was a wall, but it was horrible. So when I told him I got guinea pigs again that lived with me, and he always used to be jealous when I had guinea pigs, then that really put him off me. And when I had fibromyalgia and he had something, he had a cyst on part of his chest, and I told him when I was with him that he should get looked at by a doctor. It was like 1 or 2 years I was telling him for, over a year anyway. He wouldn't do it. And then he was going, oh, I've got this cyst on my chest. The doctors really were, gonna remove it. I'm gonna have this surgery, making a big deal, like I should care about him still after we split up and what he put me through. Like I should, try and give me the sympathy. And I wasn't. I said, I got fibromyalgia. It's a disability for life. And it shut up then because he had to usually always have a condition that was worse than mine. Whenever I was ill or poorly or anything was bad in my life, he always had to be worse than me. He had to be more important than me and my life. And so when he found I got guinea pigs, which really wound him up, not intentionally, but because he got jealous of them because he knew how much I loved them and adored them. He was jealous of guinea pigs. And then when I told him about fibromyalgia, it's like he couldn't do any better than me. He couldn't make himself to be more important than what I'd already got in my life, which was my guinea pigs and fibromyalgia. Yes, fibromyalgia was more important than him because it was more important that, than his condition. His condition, he'd have surgery, he'd get over it, he'd recover. my fibromyalgia I have for the rest of my life, forever. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it is for me. So that really put him off me, and that's what finally did the fact that he went away out of my life. I mean, I still saw him a couple of times after that. He still tried to cut me off a bit, and going in front of me with his big bag, and he smacked me in the face. But do you know what I mean? In general, that's what did it for him, and I'm glad. I'm so glad there was something in the end that did it for him, that finally made him to realise I can't be with her. I don't want to get back with her, which is good because I didn't want him to. But do you know what I mean? It's when you're living with someone who makes you kind of like, they're narcissistic, they're abusive, they make you go and say anything and you're the bad person, and you're told by them, no one's going to love you, no one's going to want you. Why? How would anyone else? You're lucky you've got me, because no one else would put up with you type attitude, which I got quite a lot as a kid as well. Then it makes you feel like you're worthless and useless, and your life is meaningless, and you're just here existing, and you're not really worth anything. So you have to get away from all that type of environment, those type of people. You have to realize that they've got their own problems and issues that are just projecting onto you, and they're just not being good people at that point towards you in their life. And you have to get away from all that, and escape it. And only then can you start being this more confident person. Only then can you start being authentic you, because you're allowed to be you. Living on your own is actually a really good thing, right? When you don't live at home with your parents anymore, it's a really good thing, because you be more of your true self, right? I mean, you can love your parents and family to bits, but if you're very different from them, then you both need your own space. They need their space, you need your own space to flourish and grow as a human being in and of your own right? It's really important. And it's important that, for your independence, it's important to prove to yourself that you can look after yourself. I've never been so happy since I lived on my own. I've lived on my own for longer. When I was my ex, in the end, I separated living with them and came to live here. It's my saviour, this place. I love this place to bits. I always love this place. If I did move out of here, I'd probably want, I don't know, good quality friend lodgers or something. Do you know what I mean? Because I kind of used to people being in the house now, but I don't actually want to live with someone. So I don't know if I'd get on living in a big house by myself. I don't think I'd exactly totally like it. I'd think I'd find it a bit weird, because I like the safety aspect of it here. But right now I'm really happy here anyway on my own. I love it. And so, you have to do what's best for you in life. But because when you start doing things that are better for you, that are healthy for you, that make you feel good about yourself, you're going to have more confidence. You're going to be the true, authentic you more. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to keep yourself busier. Like when you live on your own, unless you're going to sit and watching mindless amounts of TV, which will bore you in the end, usually, you're going to want to be more busier, to do more things, whatever it is, whether it's gardening, photography, pottery, cooking. Do you know what I mean? And, you can be a homebody, and you can also invite people around your home. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Love you. You can invite people to your home if you want to bake and cook, and you like people coming in your home and stuff like that. But there's lots of, ways that you can make your life more exciting, so that and your personality more vibrant and energetic, so that will attract people to you. So if you're an asexual person that wants to attract a sexual person, obviously if you talk to them in the beginning and this person needs sex, you're just incompatible, and and they have to have sex because they desire the sex in and of itself, regardless of the person they're doing it with. That type of person is going to be no good for you. Just move on, right? But if you're with a type of person, or dating a type of person that's more like not really needing sex as much, that's not such a big deal for them, then they could be attracted to a lot of other factors in you, and you can have so many of those attractions going on for you that the person, like the sex, becomes like not so important for them, and they don't really think they need it as much, or maybe they can do without it completely, because they just so attracted to you in other ways. You're exuding confidence, you're being your true authentic self and real, which is a very rare quality these days in the online world. You are literally being productive. You've got loads going on in your life. Maybe they do find you aesthetic attractive, maybe they find your personality just incredibly unique, because you're being very, very true authentic self, and they just love all those qualities about you, because the right person will love your personality. I know it will take a very special type of guy to be in a relationship with me who loves my personality. It doesn't matter what they like about my looks, because it'll end up like this guy, who's a guy that kisses me and not really into my personality, and that's why he's been flaky, and that's why he's not making definite plans and stuff, because he's all about really about how I made him feel. It's good because he's attracted to how I made him feel, which is great. It's one of the ways that you can attract someone is by making them feel good, making them have a good experience. That's very attractive quality. But unless they're attracted to other things about you and they want to get to know you as a person, it's not going to be long-term commitment relationship material type of scenario. Do you see what I mean? So there might be people that come into your life that are attracted to different things about you that not necessarily means you're good for them to be in a relationship with. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these three factors will make you a lot more attractive without having sex, but you've got to understand you will also attract the people that you don't want to be in a long-term relationship with. You know, you can attract people that are bad for you, not because you're bad, but just because they are attracted to parts of your personality, you know? They're attracted to traits of you. They're attracted to you. Don't think just because you attract bad people sometimes that you're a bad person. It's because, you know, you'll always get good and bad people attracted to you. You'll always get both. Do you know what I mean? It's life, you know? So don't take it personally if you attract bad people. You can say, oh, I always attract the really bad people, because then you'll keep attracting them because that's all you'll see. You can say, well, I have a tendency to attract bad people, but there are also good people out there. I know they are. I just need to find them and focus on finding these good people, not pay attention to these bad people. Do you see what I mean? But there's always going to be good and bad people in the world. You can't get in the world a complete total good, you know, everyone's good person. Everyone has the power to be bad. Even the people that were good, everyone has a dark side that could come out of them if they let it or wanted them to have that come out of them. But the power in life is the choice that you have. You know, you have a choice of whether to let the bad side come out, the dark side of you, the not so good side of you, you know, or whether you choose to let light. Like I said, you know, you choose your own happiness. That's something we're not taught. We're not taught as kids or growing up to choose to be happy. We're taught that TV can make us happy, clothes that we wear can make us happy, makeup can make us happy, being sexy and having sex can make us happy. You know, we're taught about all the wrong things, really. We're not taught about just to sit here and just decide to smile and be happy, are we? We're not taught to choose to be happy. We're taught that all these external influences and things we have to do in order to be happy, instead of just sitting here going, do you know what? I'm really happy now. I've got a roof over my head. I've got food in my belly. I've got some money in my purse. You know, I've got nice, pretty things to look at. And yeah, life's good. I've got no real worries. No one's hurting me at the moment. No one's doing anything bad to me. I'm just sat here chilling in life. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many of those moments do we actually have? Not many. I mean, you can look, you know, like, because I've been in an abusive situation, I've lived with abusive guys. I'm far happier now living on my own. I appreciate being on my own more now, because I know that I'd much more rather have a life being on my own, forever living on my own, than ever go back to living with a guy in an abusive relationship like that. It is literally torture of the mind. You are like in a mental prison 24/7, not knowing if they're going to hurt you or be nice to you. They could flip at any moment. When you've had that type of life, and then you go to the luxury now of living my own life, having freedom, being able to go out till 2 a.m, dancing, doing what the heck I want, you know, doing what I want when I want. When you have that contrast, you then really appreciate being single. You really appreciate being on your own. You really appreciate spending some time on your own. Sometimes I just need to be on my own. Sometimes I do need to cull from social media for a little bit. And I just need to focus on me and just focus being with myself. Because otherwise, I tend to like start losing a little bit of me in other people's lives if I'm not careful. You know, you have to every now and again center yourself. Say, all right, I'm just switching off my phone, switching off my iPad, switch off social media. I'm just being me. I just want to spend a few hours being me, the Sandra Bellamy, me in the now, the person, not the online person. But I mean, I'm online, I'm just like I am in person, if you know what I mean. But obviously when you're online, when you're talking to an audience, you're having to speak, and you know, you're having to be attractive in the people who are listening to you, having to, you know, say something. So if I'm feeling tired, like I was feeling tired before I came on the stream, so I had to have some sleep for like an hour and a half, and that's why I ended up, and then I had to have some food before I came on the stream, so that's why I was later. But you know what I mean? So I had to take care of myself. I'm like, I've got work to do. I've got stuff I need to. I'm like, Sandra, you need to rest. You're getting a headache because you're really tired because you had like 2 hours sleep and the night before last. I'm like, last night you had like what? I don't know, 4 how many hours sleep did I have? I went to sleep at 3:30 in the morning, and I had to get up at 9. So, and then the day before the 2 hours, I think I had 4 hours sleep. Do you know what I mean? And so it's not very many hours sleep in 3 days, and I was starting to get a headache. Of course, I'm like, you're just gonna have to rest. But I did actually do a video for my asexual meetup mastery course tonight, so I was quite happy about it. I finished it, but it was really weird. My iMovie opened by itself last night. Well, the night before now, because we're in a different day, and it was on the video that I needed to carry on editing, and it just flicked itself back open. I think it's when I switched my Mac on, it must have been on like the screen I closed it down on, which was great. And so it's kind of like telling me, come on, finish this. So I finished that bit, which is that section. So I've got 2 more videos to edit after that, and I've got some written stuff I need to do for the course. But I'm trying to get it finished. I want it finished by the new year if I can. I'm really trying to do, certainly by the 6th, because that's when I start doing my Asexual Guide to Sex book again on the 6th of January. So I want it finished before then. So that's my target. So which is why I'm coming back home in between my parents and see my parents at Christmas and New Year. So anyway, I'm going to conclude tonight's video. I've told you the 3 things. Just remember, in order to be more attractive without having sex, you need to be your true authentic self, need to be more confident, and keep busy. So keep being productive and doing your own thing in life, right? If I can't live stream, which at the moment I'm not going to be able to live stream at my parents at all, right? Know that I love you. I wish you a very happy Christmas. Very, very happy Christmas. I am going to be back between Christmas and New Year. So we're wishing you a new year again, but I wish you a good new year anyway. Right, so the days I'm going to be back here at home, I am going to be live streaming again. So I should be back on Friday. So Friday, Saturday and Sunday I'll be live streaming. I'm not sure if I'm going back to my parents on Monday or the Tuesday yet. But for 3 nights I should be live streaming between Christmas and New Year. So I will be here. And in the meantime, what I'll probably try and do is just a quick little video for you on my mobile phone so you can just see how things are going, and I'll probably wish you a Merry Christmas on there. But I wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas anyway. I'm not sure if I'll live stream again today because it's Tuesday. And I've got a busy day ahead, and I've got to pack and do lots of stuff, and I've got to have some sleep because I don't want to start getting really bad headaches. So, yeah. So if I'm a bit sporadic in live streaming over the Christmas and New Year, you know why. It's not because I don't want to be here with you, because I love doing the actual live stream. But at the moment, because I haven't got 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will not let me live stream from a mobile device. And like I said, I've downloaded this app, but at the moment I'm not sure how to use it. If I work out how to use it and I can do it, then it's good. We're good to go. But if not, then I will have to just leave live streaming. Mason Man, RKF. Merry Christmas to you too. Oh, thank you. Lots of love to you. Thank you. So tonight I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's been on the live stream. I really, really appreciate you being here. I want to give you lots of love. So kisses to Ray. Thank you so much for being here. Love you, my friend. Kisses to Sam. Thank you so much for being here. Love you, my friend. Kisses to W. Isla. Thank you so much here. William. I'll try and remember your name. I have to say I'm not great with remembering names. Part of my fibro thing, I think, but because my fibro decides to make other names. But I want to say that to you, anyway. So if I forget your name's William, you might have to remind me. I'll try and remember. But thank you for being here too. And thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate it here. Yuva. Thank you so much. We've been friends online for a while, I believe. So thank you so much. And Mason Man, thank you so much. Lots of love to you as well. Sam, great video. Good night and all, and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Sam. Merry Christmas to you. Love you all dearly. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. What can you expect from this channel? I talk about asexuality, which is the sexual orientations, the lack of sexual attraction, which I know is very different to most people. We're 1% of the population, record 1%. So you will get me talking about a no sex life because I enjoy that. You'll get me talking about dating, relationships, personal growth, self-growth, personal development, all that type of thing. So if you like that type of thing, please subscribe to this channel. Get your friends to subscribe as well. I usually live stream every night. Obviously, it's going to be sporadic between Christmas and New Year. People can chat to me live in the stream and ask me whatever questions you want about asexuality, dating, relationships, anything you want. You know, I am an open book. I'm here for you, and I do this channel for free. If you ever want to make a donation to this channel, there is a donation button in the description. If you ever want to get my book or check it out, it's on Amazon, which is Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I've also got this book out now, which I'm just going to grab off the shelf without trying to. This book, this is my own personal copy, so this one's not for resale. This is Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia, Have Less Pain, More Energy, and Feel Happier Like a Superhero Rock Star. And why is that relevant if you haven't got fibromyalgia? Because this is a really good guide to how to manage your mental health better. Because a lot of body pain is correlated to the mind, and the mind not being in a very good state makes you more pain in your body. So with this book, it does help you, give you different techniques for actually having a happier life, having more energy in life, even if you haven't got fibro. You can transfer those skills learned in this book to other areas of your life, despite not having fibro. And it does talk a lot about depression, anxiety, and give you really good techniques for lowering your anxiety and overcoming depression. Because it's my life story, you know, so I put a lot of what I've talked to you about tonight in this book. You know, and it's not something that's just, you know, gotten from online stuff. It's my own life. You know, so it's a quality book, and it's glossy cover as well. So check that out. It's on ebook as well. And brilliant books. Yeah, Sam's got both the books. So, and they do help. You know, you can read the reviews about them. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. As I always say on this channel, embrace your quirky, because I love being quirky. I'm sure you do too, which is being individual, own authentic self. Embrace your quirky. Oh, they've really helped you and others. Yes, thank you, Sam. Yeah, both these have got really good reviews. Although this is a new book, so it's only been out since October. So it's got 3 reviews on Amazon UK at the moment, and then this one's got like 14 reviews on the Amazon American site and about 8 in the UK one. So yeah, as you can see, it's got a bit crumpled now, my book, because I read it so much. I read excerpts from it, so it's all done in a really. This one's about 500 and I think it's about 500 and nearly 550 pages. So it's a whacking great book. And it's under my own imprint. So you can actually order it from bookshops. You can order this one from bookshops as well. Obviously it won't have the nut for resale on it. It won't have that, but yeah, you can get it from bookshops as well. But yeah, they're very unique. But yeah, Sam, thank you, Sam, for saying they've really helped you and others. I really appreciate that. So anyway, embrace your quirky and each other. I'll see you on the next video or live stream. I love you all. Thank you so much for being part of my community here. If you want to share this channel, you can just tell them to literally type in asexualize my asexual life. If you want to know who I am Sandra Bellamy. So that's my actual author name and my real name. So yeah, and I'm otherwise known as Asexualized, and I have asexualized.com, which is my blog and merchandise site for asexuals, and Asexualized Academy, which is the world's first online training centre and school for asexuals and asexuality. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. Night, Sam. Night, Yuva. Night, William. William, I got your name right, haven't I? Yeah, William. And night, everyone else. Night, Ray. Lots of love to everyone who's tuning in tonight. Love you all dearly. Take care. And Mason Man. Lots of love, everyone. Bye. Bye.